Guys, welcome back. 2 o'clock, couple hours left on a Halloween edition, kind of a Monday around here. It's been a pretty exciting day, but markets overall, yeah, they're still downside. After a huge rally heading into last week, or the end of last week, we are back in negative territory here. Let's have a look at how things stand right now. The S&P down about 0.5%, 0.3 for the Dow, 1 full percent right now for the NASDAQ, leading the way as it has most of the session. It's weakness in the tech group that has caused this move back downside. 2.7 there for crude oil, 1.2 to the upside, or downside, I should say, for Bitcoin. Ethereum still holding on to positive territory. Good to see. For the crypto space, here's a very mixed board to show you this afternoon. Predominantly in negative territory, though, 0.5%, 0.55. Overall for the S&P 500, it is tech up here that is leading a number of earnings reports in this group today. ON Semiconductor down 7%. That's kind of dragging down the rest of the semi group so far. There are notable names here in positive territory. I'll highlight Micron there. MU up 1.2, LRCX 0.5 to the upside. GPN, DXC, PayPal in the software group, though, all downside. Hardware stocks are, for the most part, negative. There are a few down here in positive territory, but the group itself in negative territory. Win on that activist note this morning, 10, almost 11% in positive territory, dragging along all the cruise lines and some of the other casino operators, including LVS, they're 3.5%. Retailers are weak. Consumer durables are weak as well. Energy stocks back to the upside in a big way. EQT there leads 7%. We're going to talk about crude oil here. It's had a wild ride so far this afternoon. We're going to talk about some of the energy producers off that. Comment from President Biden suggesting that a windfall tax might be coming to energy producers. Look at Meta. We're going to talk about that coming up here as well. Yeah, lowest level since January 2016 for Meta, 6% downside. Paramount right there. We saw it on the downgrade side of the upgrades downgrades board this morning, 3.5%. So very, very mixed board overall. Hope your afternoon is going well. Happy Halloween Eve, I guess, afternoon before the main event tonight. We'll jump into a little bit of a review, as we do always, to kick things off in the afternoon. Tons of opportunity, as always, this morning. Make sure you grab the watch list every day. It has everything you need to know in the pre-market. Then you come join us at 8:30. And we kick things off. Let's jump right into it here. Neil is standing by. He is going to lead the way with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Welcome. Your trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World as always. And hey, it's going to be GameStop, and had to be a little bit early on this one if you wanted to catch the move. Story last week was S3's CEO talking about if it got over $30, it could squeeze again. So, well, how is it down over beneath 30? Let's have a quick look at the daily chart. Got to pop up because you got to go way back. And look what happened to this thing when it got underneath 30. So the idea is that you've been in this bottom channel, 24 in the bottom, essentially 30 on the high. This is all since they had that split to the downside. The split, that's why it was trading a little bit lower. It was up in the 100s before this. And essentially, you had on Friday it testing a break off of this level. So we come in this morning with a little bit of hype behind it. The freight train is rolling in, and you were already challenging and breaking said 30 level. So 30 is the obvious number. That's that land that I like. There's a couple of opportunities that you could have had off the open to grab it. Now, I happen to have it in the pre-market here, but if you were trading it at the open, there certainly was this chance to get in at 31s. You could have had 30 and a half, where I was getting it early in the pre-market. There was even a dip down into the 30 level. But the real story for a trade like this is, you know what squeezes to the upside, and a lot of times you get that sell the event. We haven't really had those parabolic multi-day moves in quite some time. As you can see when you look at the daily charts, you really just want to be capturing that big candle wick, move to the upside, and then get out of dodge. So you ask yourself, well, where do you have any targets that'll come in? It's all well and good to say, okay, sell some in front of the high, sell some when it gets to a nice little even $1.32 level, but what are you holding for? And this is where I come back to the gap fill. Look at the size of this 30 gap fill all the way up to 37. And I've highlighted that 37 because when it pulled back in, you can see it broke a little support there. And then when it managed to bounce off 35, it pops to 37, fades again, and then you have 2 days in a row with a 35 high. So those are the two lines in the sand, 35 and 37. So I'm always looking for that parabolic wick top failure. Now this is real. It goes right to $35, rejects it on a dime. The second it gets up there, trailing stop, $34.50. If it breaks 35, hold to 37. If it fails to break, get out on the backside at $34.50. Now, on a normal day, I would be short this for sure at the top. But you've caught me in a bit of a transitional period, and I was really only looking for the long in GameStop. So normally, I'd see that wick and be looking for the short off of that level with the stop at the high of the day. I don't do it. I was only thinking long, so I got out of the long. It halts to the downside right here, goes into a halt when it breaks 32. It actually had halted up at the open, and we were sitting in it in the money at the time, so no real reason to get out. But when it opens up, it makes one last test at that 30 level, bounces off it once, see it come into support. I wanted to see it support first, and then take a shot going long. Did not last very long. Blast through that 30, and as a matter of fact, is continuing even lower. Is it catching a bit of a bid? Maybe, but I don't know how much I love. 28 was previous lower resistance on this. I don't know how much I love that support till it starts bouncing, but we did take a second shot at it. A lot of times, I pay for locates. That's a short that I would want to have, but some days you got to pick a direction, then it's easier to work off that one. You got to give these room to run. It's all well good, take $1, take $2, but you want to have something on board for that bigger play. When it tests to that next level, that's why you get into the squeeze. Of course, it's always just a day trade here. This is your trade of the day, brought to you by Day Trade the World. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, they hit the exits early and often on GameStop this morning. GME on the watch list, guys, talking about that comment that was made back on Friday, if you missed it, the CEO of S3 Partners on Yahoo Finance suggesting that above 30, this thing could squeeze again. So they tried. Didn't really pan out to be much of anything, but make sure you grab that every day. And then you come join us at 8:30. We get you set for the open. So all eyes now kind of shifting to what's to come coming up on Wednesday. Obviously, we get the Fed. It's going to be maybe a little bit quiet until 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Make sure you're with us then. We'll talk about the Fed coming up here. But I think we have a special intro for the afternoon portion of the show, guys. Go ahead. Can we play?
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is.
And what do they call it?
They call it...
Or Jules?
Royale with cheese?
Royale with cheese. Here we go. Oh no, Jules' mic is off.
A Royale with cheese.
What do they call Big Macs?
I don't know.
Le Big Mac.
A little Big Mac.
All right, we kind of screwed that up, but that was fun.
That's a tasty burger right there. That's a tasty burger.
We're in a couple things here, guys. Thank you so much for watching us. We said we would do that. We'll try that again there. That was really fun. We got the big...
But I'm eating this for
the
real.
Royale with cheese right now. Very, very simple. No pineapple on here. It is not the Big Kahuna burger, though.
No,
as you tried on the
you
original.
can't have a big kahuna burger around here because then I wouldn't even do the show. I would just be enjoying myself.
I look like I'm running for president in 1876, someone said. So thank you so much for that one. I also like the comment there that I'm wearing a black turban. That was kind of cool as well. Yeah, some awesome stuff happening here. We already had our cultural appropriation happen with Brad and Super Mario. So we already had that. So we're not going to get involved with that too much right now. But thank you one more time for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. We're short right now Meta. We're short right now Amazon. So we've got a great trade on Meta, 50 cents in the money. There, yeah, exactly. You got the drink.
I got it all going.
We've got everything going on. So big shout out to Justin. Thank you so much for organizing that for us. And that clip was pretty cool.
That's a real burger too.
Yeah, we're really excited, man. Some burgers going down through here. We'll be eating that when we're on break, but lots of trades coming through again for you here in the afternoon. As the NASDAQ just sort of dancing in the middle right now, 1.1%.
Let's get into a few interesting notes from midday, guys. I want to talk about weed to kick things off here. If you missed it, Chuck Schumer saying that they're very close, quote unquote, very, very close on getting a banking deal done for the cannabis industry. So here's Tilray holding on to 12.6% on the day. Hilariously, the high, of course, is 420, or actually 419, but close enough. CGC, I mean, all of them up big time this afternoon. Again, if you missed it, looks like a banking deal is pretty close when it comes to what they're doing in Washington.
Well, I've been set up the whole day, not the whole day, but most of the day, trying to take that long break at 420 on Tilray.
Man, that burger was so good. I need a smoke.
I haven't had a quarter pounder in a long time. It's actually been a while because I always get the Big Mac.
Yeah, me too.
And that's just my go-to. But
The Big Mac.
The Big Mac. That's where it's at. And you got to have the shake to go with it.
Man, after you have a burger, it's so nice to have a smoke. Oh, man.
So, look, I'll be on the break at 420 if it gets there. But these are all starting to pull back a little bit. They're pulling back like this mustache is falling off my face. But CGC on the run. I think it's probably been a little bit stronger. The chart looks fantastic. But look at the wall that sits. On this one, like, you can't make this up. Like, you actually have resistance at 420 on the daily on CGC. But that's not the one I'm watching. It's going to be Tilray. Tilray up here. Hit enter twice because for some reason that's how you always got to hit enter twice, just to be sure. But this has room to run on the daily to 450. You got the 200 period sitting up there as well. And then as Brendan mentioned, that's 419. That's your high. So nice little consolidation up top. Even a bounce play off $4, not that bad. I mean, I put this in when we kind of were bouncing up here at 415 with a tighter consolidation, looking for that top break. I'll leave it in because it looks like the trend is still pretty solid. But the market starting to come back in. I just got to reload on Intel shorts.
Yeah.
That's a roundabout story because I actually started with the long on that one. But yeah, the weed names are here, and I'm looking for the breakout on Tilray. I know CGC is a little bit stronger, but Tilray, I like the setup.
Shoot, I didn't have my earring in for that.
Oh, it completes the look.
It completes the look. The earring completes the look. Right there. I think it might just fall out again. I'll have to figure that out. Right now, we're short Amazon, but Amazon's not working out right now for sure. I'm going to take this off and fix that later. I think Amazon's going to be stronger than the market. It's now taking out some of those highs right there. But I did want to give a big thank you. Again, you might have missed it. We did miss this here. What's up, Web Monkey? Thanks for the $50, man. CGC has treated him well, or her well, today. So keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Web Monkey. You keep up the great work as well. And don't smoke all those profits away. But thank you so much for all of that. And yeah, Neil just talked about a couple names there. Tilray, the last time we got excited, it went up to $4, I believe. I think it was maybe 430. You just mentioned 420. That was the high today. But yeah, there it is. No, that's the 20-minute. Hold on, let's go to a daily chart here quickly on Tilray, if and when I can find one. Here it is right here. Yeah, so that's the last time we spiked up there to 440, 450 on very similar news. Except for this was that Biden was pardoning some of the I guess, past convictions there federally for marijuana, small convictions for marijuana. But there it is right there. That's that spike. So I would say we need to break above 450 for sure before we go. All right, let's just get out of Amazon. Amazon's now breaking higher. So there's the out for Amazon. So we'll flush ourselves on the toilet for that last trade. But all good, to be honest with you. Actually made decent money on it before. Right now, just getting stopped out. So a couple shorts in there for Amazon before now, trying to break higher, so we're out of that. And then do we have Meta on there? That's going to come up next. So we'll talk about Meta in a couple minutes, but that one's still short.
Yeah, the thing you need to know is there's not much to know about Meta today, coming off of earnings last week, obviously. Lowest level since 2016. Early on. We're still grinding to the downside here. But yeah, 7-year lows here, guys. Down again for Meta Platforms.
You are right, Soccer Rock. He thinks I'm maybe possibly Travolta today. Yes, for sure. Vincent Vega.
Or Steven Seagal.
Yeah, or used car salesman, I think was pretty funny.
I don't get...
as well. Well, this goes a little bit. So this is Neil and I here.
That's the picture.
This is the jam right here. So here we go. We are hired hitmen, but right now we're hitmen in the market here today. But what stock has a hitman all over it today? If you said Meta, you are right. Meta right now down to 52-week lows. Already took that out at 94 earlier today, right into here. I believe the past 52-week high was actually low. Sorry, was 96.38. So we're well below that now, well below the last 52-week low, but you are on the third day today. I expect Meta to get a little bit better. I mean, like Brendan said, this was pretty destructive here today. Like, down 6.5%, and we can't really find too much about it other than the fact that, yeah, it's metaverse, they're spending way too much money, and we really don't trust Mark Zuckerberg. So that's pretty much what everybody says about this name. It's hard to downplay the cash flow or anything like that. It's about the guide, right? They said they're going to continue to spend as much money as they want to on the metaverse until they get it right. And I mean, the stock's been an absolute dumpster fire. It switched over to Meta at like $235, the name, and now you're down to $92. So name change didn't help, and all that spend isn't helping either. They're close to $10 billion on the metaverse so far with absolutely nothing to show for it, and it could be an absolute nothing burger, period. So as soon as you get below this $96, that was the 52-week break there, and you know, it's been no love since then. So we're short right now, Meta. It's the first time we actually didn't trade this at all until we tried to find some relative weakness as the market is below the 50 period, so on and so forth. We tried with Amazon. That didn't work, although it's kind of just hovering around right now. I believe Meta is going to be the right short here, and let's just stay short. We're short 93.20. I mean, here it goes. If it breaks higher, then we're out. We've already taken good profit on it, so it's really no problem. A break above 35 and we're out on this one, but look at these fills. That's a 94 and a 75, so you know, we've already made money on this trade. Let's hope we can make some more downside for Meta.
Uh-oh. Oh, my 15 minutes going to crash. There we go. I'll show you guys here. On Meta, I like one price. I like that 96. Obviously, it would have been that low since the earnings came out. That was a 96 breakdown. So let's wait around for that. Let's take the break. I even gave it some room here, but not enough room. And we always talk about having, look, you can have an idea. I'm like, okay, I know exactly where I like to short and it can break down, but you got to execute as well. So, you know, I was basically talking about one level here. I got it. I end up almost making the wick top as it breaks just that 96.60 area. I actually even gave it a few cents off that 96.5. And then that at 10 o'clock was essentially the last time it wasn't an absolute free fall. So it continues to go into that downside. The way I look at it is this, though. If I don't have my stop here, it goes up through 97. Okay, well, I still believe in it. What am I doing? It's shorting all the way back to 98, 98.5. My particular style is I always tend to have a hard out somewhere, or at least a price area where, hey, if it looks like it's going to be holding that, then I want to get out of it. That ends up happening to me. So unfortunately, I don't still have Meta at 96 as much as that was the big level. I tend to think that if this gets to $90, that could be pretty interesting, but the context of where we are now, let's not forget what happens on Wednesday, right? We're getting a rate hike on Wednesday. So that's probably going to move the markets in its own right. And by the time we get to 90, like you could be sitting at 90 on Fed day, and then it's not really about the 90 level. It's just how the market reacts to 75 basis point hike that we're going to get on Wednesday. So I am looking forward to see that 9.0 on there, but I wouldn't say, oh, just immediately start buying long if you get it at that price. You got to factor in when it happens too, because do you want to be buying in front of Fed or wait until after it comes out? I think you want to play the patience game, but that Meta 90, it feels like it's going to happen this week.
Right on cue here. Let's talk some big tech. I mentioned when we kick things off, might get a little quiet now ahead of what is to come on Wednesday. If you go to the CME Fed Funds tool, it's going to be a 75 basis point hike, it would appear, that comes on Wednesday from Fed Chair Powell. But a big week possibly for some of the big tech names coming off of earnings and trying to lead the market here. There was this note that just came out at 2 o'clock here as far as the EU review of the Activision deal. So Microsoft initially has offered no remedies as far as the first go around for the EU antitrust review of the Activision deal. So there was actually a little bit of a volume spike in Softy there. But I mean, they all kind of look like this today, down a bit, but just going sideways, really.
Big tech, big week. Yeah, I mean, last week was an absolute monstrous week for big tech, and we had a bunch of different earnings flow through, and yeah, it hasn't been pretty. I mean, Meta's the worst of the worst for sure, but Google hasn't been very impressive. Excuse me, either. We had a big move down there, down to 91 on Friday. Was actually into the close there on Thursday, and we actually got to 90.50. And I was making comments on Friday like, I can't believe we're at 91 on this name. But, you know, it ripped up to 96.50, so it was a nice move on Friday. I feel like it wasn't as aggressive as other names, like an Apple or like an Amazon there. But still, nice little move to the upside, or Microsoft. We lost a lot of money shorting Microsoft on Friday. But there's Google's high, 96.50, coming into play. Oops, there it is. Yeah, so we were short, so those just showed up. So we were actually short Google, and actually no ticks or above any of these short spots. So it was a good trade for us, Google, on Friday. We'll look to do the same right now. You have this 95.15 area right here. Mind that little wick upside there. And again, we chart sort of all of the prints, so unfortunately that will continue to happen for Neil and I, but there it is right there, 95.20. Nice little top there for Google. I still think you could short all of that. You're down 1.64%. The market's only down 1, so it is relatively weak. You do have a nice little high there of 94.80. I'm wondering if I just step right in now and short this right here, right now. The market is hovering around the 50 period. This is the problem when I look at big cap tech right now. There's not much happening as far as this is concerned, and that's the market. So if the market's going to hover around here, like look at this, break below the 50 period, stop about 20 handles lower, break above, and at that point when it broke above it was at 70, and then there's the stop at 85. So that's about 15 handles higher. There's the break back down again to that same level, and now we retest, so it wouldn't surprise me if we come back to the upside. So I just feel like you got to be patient, and patience starts with waiting. So you got to wait for Google to sort of do the same thing, not dance around these levels, wait till it gets near a 95, then you can play off that 95.20. But for right now, love Google short for sure. Just got to find a good spot to take that position. It might be a break lower. Like if we break this 94.60, then you can play off 94.80, because I feel like if you break that, you probably get that 94 bottom right there, which is 94.40, and then the low of the day is actually 94 flat. So we'll wait to see, but would rather get it a little bit shorter here for Mr. Google.
Yeah, look, I like that 94 if it gets there. I think you got to be patient with it. But this was the one day, like in the chip space, this was the day I came in thinking there could be a long on Intel. You know, they had the earnings. It wasn't the greatest report in the world, but they were losing, declining revenue was slowing. The rate of decline was slowing. And they were doing some cost cutting, which the market seemed to like as well. Plus, it had been just such a bear for so long. But there was a big move up. I ended up only shorting the top on Friday. I didn't really get that long that I would have been looking for off that 27.50 area. And then I came in and we were breaking out the high. I'm like, okay, we're above that 29. Let's get some quarters. Let's buy dip in front of 29 even. If we can hold that line, the stock is potentially looking for a break and trying to get to 30. That simply wasn't the case. I stopped out, but you know, part of trading is being able to adjust your thesis. In this case, going back to the one that's been working oh so well, which is, you can note, has more or less been shorting every significant price level I find on Intel until it stops working. So when it broke down at 29, the first level of consolidation, I'll pop to the 3-minute now, it was right here at 28.80. So it got to about VWAP on the 3-minute here. You see, this is where I got the long in front of 29. It ends up stopping out beneath the pre-market low. And then we just short the next consolidation. It was now a failed break. I did reload this at VWAP, or at least at 28.50. I was able to get a leg out there at 35, showing some signs of strength here. We were able to get out off the bottom. It bounced off 28 even. So when it bounced off 28 even, I did trail out at 28.50, so 28.10. The short there was at 80, so pretty good short there. And then back into it. I think I want to be very, very patient with some of these big tech names. Make sure you get the price that you want. Alphabet has to get, if I'm going long, it has to be that 94 level. Meta looks pretty interesting off that bottom. And I guess we have one. That was the trade of the day, but I feel like there's not going to be much left with GameStop, although you never want to write it off when it starts consolidating, Brendo.
Just going red, or it did just go red. We're back to break even at the moment for GME. Let's revisit, though, in the sense, a lot of people still kind of wondering what to do with this thing. We're right back to where we ended the day on Friday. So a wall formed here on Friday of resistance. We're just bouncing off this 28. Is there much left here? I mean, the problem, obviously, at the bottom down here, guys, volume has left the building.
It really has. And to you, Steve G, in the chat, for those of you that are watching, maybe not following the chat, he just asked me, how does it feel to have hair? Actually, it's a little bit itchy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, man.
It doesn't feel, it's a little itchy.
Things we do for these people.
It's clearly not real, and this is all taped on nonsense. I'd have to grow my hair forever to try to pull that look off. But realistically, it's like, hey, what we do for you guys, it's a heck of a lot of fun anyways. We enjoy it. But GameStop, it was fun this morning, but like you said, volume is dead. I would even be considering, if you go back to Friday, look at the consolidation off this 28 level. I'd be almost considering just dabbling the long here. The low of the day is like 27.90. The risk to reward's not bad. Just convinced it can has a second salvo in it after the breakout this morning. I'm not convinced this is completely done here, but volume, like there was a huge, huge volume spike, not just in the pre-market into the open, but it was also trying to hold up. When it bounced again off 29, there was even good volume. And unless I see that starting to pick up, it's hard to get excited about GameStop down here. So I'm gonna sit it out till I see volume come in. If it does another failed break of 28 to the downside, maybe trap some shorts in that way, then the long could make some sense off of whatever the low happens to be. But that's about it. It's now flat on the day, which is pretty crazy because we sat down this morning and it looked like maybe it would be able to sustain one of those moves. It's been a while since it's done it more than one day.
Yeah, mine was pretty simple on GameStop. It was 1 in, 1 out. That's it. We took the 32 break there. We missed it. It sucks because we missed it the first time, and we put it on our sticky note, and we just missed it. So we didn't have that break of 32. That was exactly on the sticky note. We missed it, and then we take a dollar hit about 15 minutes later. So it faded back in. Maybe it was only 10 minutes. We got out at 31, which appears to be a great out as you dip down now into 28 and change. Whenever I see, honestly, like I watched that GameStop thing on Netflix and everything like that. And it's like the minute I hear, like a big sort of house talking about it, like, oh, there's a potential squeeze here. That's not, the spirit of GameStop is not to get, investment banks and everything talking about that it could squeeze, right? This is a stock supposed to be for the people, by the people, stuff like that. So I just feel like whenever we start seeing things, you got to be very, very careful because it's kind of like no surprise here that one of the biggest, not the biggest, not one of the biggest spikes and volume of the day it happens up here, and then it never sees that level again. So, part of me thinks that, there might have been, what is it, Janney, or I don't know who it was, S3, or no, S3 was the short interest, but talking about, that it could squeeze up. Yeah, well, maybe they were long and they wanted that to happen. So they put out these reports getting everyone excited, and then this happens to the downside. We're negative on GameStop today, but that doesn't mean that we're negative on everything because here is AMC where we had that long at 680 in the pre-market, hoping for that bump up, and we did get a very, very similar bump, but we only took a piece out there at 7, and then again when it failed, that's on the GameStop halt, when it failed the top, we got out at 705 again on that VWAP break, and then out the last third for flat, right where we were in. So AMC's a positive stock for me today, not GameStop. We already talked about Meta. Meta's still hovering lower, but now that we're breaking above the 50-period here on the NASDAQ, I do wonder about this long. So I'm going to take a piece, I'm going to take a piece out if we break above 93, which could happen any second here.
I just wanted to mention some of these energy stocks. People talking about crude oil a little bit, but I mean, back to the upside here for most of these. We're now up once again on XOM. CVX looking very similar after this happened. What time was it? Right at lunchtime. So a big flush right at 12 o'clock on that note, suggesting that the Biden administration considering a quote unquote windfall tax for some of these energy producers. And it is worth noting, President Biden supposed to make a statement on this further at some point this afternoon, according to the White House guys. So no detail really as far as how big or how much or when even, but more to come apparently on this quote unquote windfall tax for some energy producers.
I wish they'll probably find a way to pass along. Let's be real about that. I mean, the earnings
pass along the tax, yeah.
The earnings were spectacular.
It's like that SoFi stuff, man. Like, are they actually going to student debt or what? Like,
and let's not sleep on SoFi. SoFi reports tomorrow morning. That's another one that we got to watch out for. But I'm excited about SoFi because 480 is a pretty good level on SoFi. But these names, whether it's CVX or XOM, they're just breaking out, and it looks very strong. If it wasn't for that announcement, this was like we'd probably be sitting at maybe like 114 or so. But because of the announcement, now you're only right back to Friday's high, like this 111. So I'm kind of thinking as long as there's no additional news this afternoon, we're going to get the oil futures closing up, at least a pit anyways, and then we'll have a chance to work off this 111 potentially, or it just slows down and there's nothing to be seen here. But after eating that tasty burger, I got myself the munchies and then got a little bit long early in Tilray here. So it didn't break 420, but it did bounce off that $4 level, but didn't get fours. I actually got it when it broke out past that 10. I'm going to be on the dip here anyways in front of 4 as it comes right back to the downside. And I still like the notion that it breaks 420. It's been in a pretty good upward channel, but that's maybe a little bit impatient. I could have saved myself like 6 or 7 cents, but just waiting a little bit for that bid to come in. And then one last update. I do have, and I'll throw this one out there only because you're going to see me in it. Trade might be done on this FWBI. This was just a runner from this morning. Essentially a gapper that got to $1.50, failed this double top here, and because the support was at a 105, I just looked for that dollar support, got the 106 long, and I mean, when I say support 105, this is what I mean going back to the 25th. It bounced off it, got to 103, I got the long on the way back at 6s. It's gotten only as far as 116, which is not bad, but no VWAP retracement. I did have orders for the rest. Now it's coming back to the bottom. If I bought again, it would likely be at 2s or 3s, if not 101s, just to hold in front of that dollar. And just one last thing before I move on, just wanted to quickly show, this is what's happening on UVXY. We were essentially just slowly grinding lower, but right at, and I always leave in my support and resistance on this for quite some time until I think it's time to get rid of it. And I've had this drawn at 980 on UVXY for quite some time. So if we don't end up breaking through this and we bounce off this level, I could see the market, rolling over. And when you sit there barcoding off a big level and volatility at the same time, the futures have been trying to punch through a high. If you don't, it sets up in a couple of ways here. Obviously, you can roll into some shorts. If you're in some longs, I might want to take some out. But that break at 980 on UVXY, I've been waiting around for that to happen. That could send the market or help the market try to rally back to the green because truthfully, if you go since the open, I know we're down 1%, but since the open, there's been mostly, so a lot of these stocks in the market itself catching bottoms since that opening range.
Yeah, look, first of all, we have a new position right now. I wish we had, a better feel for what we were looking at here on a direction thing. I mean, we've talked about sort of the NASDAQ going back and forth. That's a damn good burger. We talked about the NASDAQ going back and forth. The Royale with cheese, guys. I mean, absolutely fantastic. You got to make sure you try that. It is a little different in Paris, I must admit. All right, so we're short Google, but we're only going to go against this 80 level. The thing that I'm short, that I'm not super pleased about my performance here, because for some reason I keep thinking that Amazon is a short when it's not. Amazon is now better than the market. It's up at some levels here that I want to try, but I don't want to be in here for very long. So let's wait to see. My offer out of Amazon is actually right here in the 70s. So it's not too far away. If this crushes us back up to the upside, I kind of deserve what I get here, to be honest with you. It's been really strong over the last little bit. Like, look at Amazon. We just got out a piece of Meta. Like, look at Meta. Meta just doesn't want to go up. And these shorts make sense. Wait for the rip, short it. We actually shorted the break there, once it broke back down through 93. It was RIP, and it didn't really go that far. It only went 15 cents. Then it bounced back up about 10, 15 minutes later, and we shorted that VWAP. But you're going to see right here. See, I deserve this, honestly. Meta is going now. So there goes Meta. Amazon, as it's breaking higher. We're almost stopped out of this name, and I sort of get what I deserve. Like I said, I'm going to take another piece out. I'm going to take one piece out. This has not been a great trade. We're short at 58. We'll take a couple pieces just in case it does blow back up to the upside. But yeah, not a great trade here. Amazon is stronger than the rest, guys. So I'm going to try to get out of this. Hold a little bit. If it wins, great. We can have something on the way back down. But let's just start to average out a little bit here, as it is weak compared to the rest of the names. Stronger compared to a weak market. So we don't want that, but we do want Google. So there's the Google average in short. Let's see what happens. Hopefully the market doesn't take off here as we got 3 shorts on board.
Yeah, and one long that, I just got, like I said, tail rates to the long side, but we are now breaking away on GameStop from that 28 level. So I'm going to join the party a little bit here. I wanted to see it start to go. So it's back above. It's going to be hard to see unless I zoom right in for you guys. There we go. If you look at when it tested 28, the bottom of that channel was about 28.30. So I want to buy between 30s and 50s here. See if we can catch a little bit of this run to the upside. Give it to the low. Look, if it starts going, I could see it getting back to 30. Sometimes you can see that hype come through that second time. And yeah, look, there's also this beast. Well, I don't know if I can call it a beast today, but it's up. Tesla's up on the day at least, and the market is down. So I'll give it half beast mode. Let's just call it. But I had one trade on Tesla that was, and I should have had it the first time in the afternoon when it got to that 228 and shorted back into VWAP. I did take it that other time, and then look at this. Like that 228 has turned into a triple top into now support on Tesla. And if you take it a step further, I mean, this thing is just primed to get to this like 232 where it's been holding the top since late last week, primed for a bit of a breakout. So 228 support here on Tesla looks pretty solid. But this could also take out the top and simply try to grind toward that 32 level. As I said, the market's been kind of consolidating and making some higher lows. I'll just pull up the NASDAQ for you guys and so you can see. Like we made the bottoms right at the open, essentially, made those harsh bottoms, higher lows, and then you're trying to grind higher for a potential breakout. That's the NASDAQ. It's still down 0.5%. And then the S&P 500 futures, the 3,900 level, has been a bit of a problem. But still, higher lows all the way around. So I'm looking for some strong stocks, for some longs. I mean, Tilray's strong today, but that's not necessarily going to be following the market. Tesla here, at that 228, I like the long in front of 28s.
Yeah, unfortunately there, we'll flush ourselves on the toilet a little bit because we did get stopped out of our Amazon that we thought we would have. And then it faded back down a little bit there again. So we're going to wait for a little bit. 102.75 break. Our Google trade was good, man. And again, play the names that appear to be weak. And you should be fine. So there's another trade there into Google, right at VWAP there at 77, out some 67s and 65s, I believe, down there for the downside of Google. So that stock working down. But, the futures are still doing this dance, man. And it's like, I shouldn't even be in anything right now. There's really no point in sitting here and being in some stock. Well, we've made some decent money this morning, and now we're just going to throw it all away because we're trying to trade for you. Doesn't make much sense. So let's just wait for some of these levels to start to get upside. I mean, we did wait for Google, and I'm pretty happy with that, with that short there at 80. So we do have a stop. If Google breaks, not much more than that, man. 94.85. If we break a little bit higher than that, then we will get out. I'm just adjusting all these shares because we have gotten some out. So about 10 cents away from a stop out on Google. Other than that, man, this is what we're going to wait for. Just going to wait for something to happen. We've done it on Amazon. We got stopped out. Now we're going to see if Google can make that zero to hero kind of move. We are starting to break out a little bit long right now in the market, though. So that's something that's bugging me a little bit because we're not long anything. And I think Apple's getting close to being that guy right here, 154.20, possibly on a breakout long.
Hey, 420.
Is that Tilray finally?
No, it's not. But it's a triple top on Apple. It is at 420. I do like it. I just got out of my Intel short there. I'll quickly show that. I wanted to go to Pinduoduo, but I'll show you Intel. I did just take out VWAP, so like the reload off the earlier short, 28.50. Just got through VWAP. It was okay. I mean, it gave me 15 pennies, and then just stopped out there. So I'm going to have to hunt over in some relative strength. I did just get a little bit of GME in front of 28.50, but I was just sort of talking about Pinduoduo here. I mean, I like the setup on Pinduoduo. The problem with some of these Chinese stocks is that they tend to fall off on volume a little bit. But if you see it at 56, this breakout looks fantastic. I wish I had held on to the dip buy. Then I could just be in the money here. But I was kind of believing that after that hit that lower high, it would reject. So I got out of it at 55 for just $1. The other name in the space worth watching, because it's shown some signs of strength, is Alibaba. But the reason I'm looking at Pinduoduo, as you can see, PDD holding the highs and potentially giving a breakout, whereas Alibaba is just sitting around VWAP. So that looks a little bit not suspicious, but just relatively weak. As mentioned, I did start into GameStop here as it broke that 28.50 area. I'd be pretty happy if this cleared 29 and got into 30. Hopefully I'll have some places that I can add to it, but the volume's still only okay. Like, I don't think it's really off to the races yet. And then another one from this morning, small cap, that SONN, still holding near the high. The 280 level on the higher time frame, if I just pull up the daily here, since it had the reverse split, that was your high at 280. So that's very much in play if it breaks the top. But it's starting to struggle at 250. That's on the radar as well.
Yep. Okay. All right. So we've flipped over long now. So we're long Apple because it did break that little level there. We've seen Apple go for a run, man. It's only down 1%. It can get going here, especially if this market wants to. Plus, we have 53.80 right there. So this is going to be a 40-cent hit. Worst case scenario here for Apple, but we are starting to break higher. So let's try to believe in this, right? So it's, net. it would suck to have this drop all the way back down, that's for sure. But we are going to play this as a breakout. We don't necessarily need to average into it. The futures are going right here, so let's see if Apple can play the party. I don't know if it's going to, though, or not. We did get out of some Google because of that exact reason. It was still hovering, so we were able to get something out in the mid-70s right now for basically flat. I just didn't want to be long Google and short Google and long Apple. So that just didn't make any sense for me. So we'll stay with this and then see what happens right now. Apple 154.21 long. We're going to get out if it breaks 154.80. So right into there. You break that little level and then we're just going to get out. And it's going to suck to do that, but that is what we're going to play off of. So let's get ready to rumble here with that play. 154. I just thought the market wanted to go. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And we'll back off of it, right? So that's the trade that we're looking for, 154. It's pulled back a little bit here. We could average in. It's crazy, man. Amazon just continues to run. I guess that was the name there. As soon as momentum switches on a name, we got to do better to identify that a little bit earlier. We'll buy some 11s here on Apple, and then we'll buy some more O's or so, but we're only going to give it back to 80, right? So if we dip any lower than this, then we're going to be out of Apple. But right now, that's our plan of action. I think it's a good one. Let's just see if it works. Apple long. I don't know, man. Just like Amazon switched its sort of trend here and just kept going to the upside as we were shorting it. Let's see if Apple can sort of do the same thing here and get back going. Amazon was worse than the market by a decent amount. Right now, it's 0.51 versus 0.8. So hopefully the market can get back to somewhere near Greensville and our Apple will pay off. But right now it's definitely not, and it's heading lower here, Apple.
I'm not giving up on some of the longs just yet. I mean, I'm watching Netflix here. That got off the bottom, triple bottom, just cleared VWAP. It tried to make this break at 93s, not successfully yet, but if it can hold 92, I think I'd rather be taking the dip buy and then have a tighter stop on that and then work up to that 93 level than anything else. I still feel as if the market has been trying to make a recovery going into this close. I'm on the bid to try to grab some more of GameStop, and I talked about Son as well. I see people ask about Mullen. It's making the move down at 40 to 47. I know this morning I said I was a buyer at 47. That's when you're doing volume. I kind of figured when it broke 52s that maybe you'd head down and you could catch that low where it'd have the rest of the day to recover. I don't know how much I love long at 47 on Mullen if it's going to be this late in the session. Maybe we do get a decent enough bounce. And I've seen it happen in the past, so I'm not just going to blindly sit on the bid in front of it, but if we get any bounces off this, even a little bit of sign of strength, then I will get into the long, give it to that 46. But I would have just been sitting there. I was actually sitting there in this morning. I just don't really see it until we calm down a little bit here. So Mullen, it feels like it is going to test that support. And of course, if this 46 breaks, as a day trader, I'm not holding it through that level. Even if I'm willing to make a wick bottom long in front of 46 on Mullen if I have to, because that's just too big of a gap. Like the gap is 46 to 30 to about 33 here. That's way too much to try to hold back into. But it is on my radar. I haven't been ignoring that one at all. And I think we talked a little bit about Meta there. Meta holding the line at 93 pretty decently. Look, the higher time frame charts are going to make it look real ugly. But if you look at it today, as the market tries to bounce, this is also making a pretty solid recovery. And you ask yourself at some point there's going to be A, shorts covering, B, some people looking for those opportunities, maybe just to get into this thing. To the extent that it happens before the Fed, I think that's a bit questionable. I wouldn't do it personally, but I do like the notion that you've had a lot of buying done on consistent volume at this level. So this 93, I'm going to take a stab at it. I know I'm basically all long here, but the market has been putting in higher lows, and until that trend reverses, it's hard not to be looking for longs.
I like the Meta. You're Meta short or long?
I'm not shorting it till VWAP. It's not at a price level to short. I think if it gets up to VWAP here, 94 and a half, I get it. I'd probably do that too. But in front of the low of the day, there's only one play I want to make, and that's long in front of the low. As long as the market's holding trend to the upside, which it's trying to do, then I'd rather be going long off support levels than trying to catch shorts at the bottoms.
Yeah, my frustration is Oh, tonight's a sports equinox? No, that can't be true.
Sports
MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA all playing tonight. Yeah, that makes sense. That must have happened last week as well.
I don't
on
even know
Thursday.
who plays.
Oh, and MLB. It's
Cincinnati versus
Cleveland. So it's a battle of Ohio. I need Amari Cooper to get a couple points to beat Pash there tonight. So hopefully that happens, which means he won't. All right. So we are short Google. We're long Apple. I don't like Apple's not doing anything. So this is a little bit bothersome to me. Again, like I just find myself, and I was just messaging, like I feel frustrated a little bit because, we had Amazon, which we knew was a short, and then it just switched on us and started to go back up to the upside. So, and now I feel like Apple wants the long, but, it's not reacting properly when the market went up there. I mean, it just fell down pretty good into our lap there at 154. So we'll take an average. Our average price now is 154.17. I don't know if we get back up there, man. I did not like that fail right there at 154. I mean, it's the highest spot we've been at all day. Apple started the day low. This is today, right? This is a 1 minute chart. So Apple started the day right here at 153. So it's already up $1. And I just punched the high of the day on Apple. So that sucks. But at the same time, like the NASDAQ, I just thought once we took this 11,500, if we did, we were shooting up to there, that we could get back up here. And then I would have a 20 or 30 cent winner on Apple, and I wouldn't really have to worry too much about it, but that does not seem to be the case right now as the market's trying to battle back up. So, okay, here it comes. I feel like now we'll take a piece out at 09 for Apple because, again, I'm not super convinced about it, but I still want to be in this name. So let's just see if it goes. I was just going to say we don't need to take a piece out, but we did anyways right there at 09, 10%. So we're just taking out a couple pieces here as we go back up to the upside. I do want to put a piece at right where we stopped. Again, see, there it goes, turns around. So glad we got out of a little bit there. Let's just put another piece around 20 where we punched along the first time. So maybe if it comes back up there and it screams a little bit higher, fine. But look what the market just did. It failed again at 11,500. So as long as this market's going to sort of stay below, then there's not much we can do. I'm playing long on Apple because we're above the 50 period here in the market. And whenever that happens, I feel like we could continue that trend to the higher side. This is only on a 1 minute chart, but we're also above the 50 period on the 3 minute, and on the 3 minute, we're also above the 100 period as well. So thinking that there is a chance to go long, although the market does feel like the shorts are easier to win on than the longs, so that's definitely making me change my mind a little bit here. But we got short Google, long Apple. Let's see which one wants to work.
There is a short from this morning. Well, it never actually happened, but there's a short from this morning that I do like, and they report this week. Airbnb is going to be reporting this week. Double bottom 107. The daily chart's going to show you it is failing the 50 period as of, Friday it failed the top. Today, again, you failed the 50 period moving average on the daily. That's the simple. So you're breaking down. 107 is the low of the day. And I do have a stop to short this double bottom. The other place, and this might not happen, but I've had it in for a while. Once I saw Luca, who's hanging out in Del Boca Vista, once I saw him talk about MBLY, I know it's not moving, but if you show me a level like this on a recent IPO, like look at it defends 26 like a champion on the first day. And then now just barcoding off this same 26 level, when that level breaks, I'm short Mobileye when it takes this out for good. Now it got to 99s and couldn't follow through, but the next time it gets down there, if it makes a fresh low, I want this to the short side. I'm taking my shot on it if we can get it. So I want to be all over this. It's just not really doing a heck of a lot here today, unfortunately. Oh, goodness. Tesla coming back in? No.
Here we go.
So the market starts coming down, and Tesla's at the high. And so this is the thing. If the market comes in, I still like the buy in front of 228 because I'm just seeing relative strength in Tesla all session long. Now, I wouldn't long it off the high of the day, but if we get a move to the downside, I'll take that dip to be sure in Tesla if we can grab it.
93.65, I guess, is the high here. All right, so there we go. We unfortunately will fall down there on Apple. Again, it's just frustrating because we thought like we had that trade there for the long. It just didn't print out. But we do have a new position right now. Oh man, it's like now I go short in Meta, although I feel like Meta, like that's a big move down. Now we're back to the 50 period again here on the market. So this always happens, like every afternoon, man. It's like we get sort of caught in the middle on some of these plays. Once it breaks out, we get excited and we go long, and then dumped out again. So I think the best thing to do is sort of lower our shares here in the afternoon, because our calls in the morning were fantastic. But now, yeah, you're right. Price action appears spooky right now a little bit. So,
really
I mean, we get stopped out here at 75 anyways on Apple. So for right now, it's fine. But see, now are we going to make a run back up here now that we've tested that 200 period low? I mean, maybe, but at the same time, it's like, choppy. Like, how many times am I going to buy this? Like I said, we were able to get a little bit out there, but not nothing. We got out 10%, not 90% when it fell back down in. So we're going to short Meta, sort of off that same thinking here, into the 60s. So we'll short Meta. We're now 10 cents in the money. Obviously, it needs to go like $1 for me to be happy. Like, if we can break through 93, we'll put a bid at near 93 just to get something out in case, there it is. Give us those 12s at least. We're bidding 12, so you'll see there. Hopefully that hits us. We'll bid some 12s and hopefully get out of that for 18 cents. And then we're just trying to get out of that 10% again. So just like we did on Apple, get out some, you know, when it gets back to us. And right there, Meta, if our out's going to be 60 and we're short at 30, that's 30 cents. We could take out 10% for 18 cents. But that's right where it stopped, of course, right at us. So 93.12. If it comes back in, you'll see me get that fill. I'm going to leave the order there. My next out is, honestly, I don't want an out. So I'm thinking like 92.75, 92.80, right where we've been at here before on Meta, into this area. That didn't happen because we didn't get filled at 12. So we'll wait to see down here into this area, 85, 86, 90s. Something like that is sort of where we have to be targeting now for Meta in order to make this trade work out for us. So we got this, there it is. So there's the 12. So finally, yeah, we'll go bang. We got a winner there. But we all wait for Google to fall back down as well. So this name's breaking its bottom. So everything's working fine. It's just we went long on Apple, which kind of sucks. So the short on Meta, the short on Google paying, but the Apple long, not great. AMC still 28.50.
And a Pindo duo decided it wants to break consolidation, not to the upside, but to the downside. So now I'm going to like that short. Like, when you're holding that far from VWAP, if it breaks a high, got no issues with it, it decides to break to the downside. I'll try to take 55, 60s or lower to the downside. And then Intel, when the market got to resistance, Intel broke up. It didn't get very far. That looks like a failed break through VWAP. So I want to jump back over, get my exposure back into Intel to the short side. I got some more shares of GameStop, so we picked up that bid. But Tilray is starting to fall asleep here. Like, it's now gone sideways, and if it does this the rest of the day, there's obviously not going to be anything to be done this far away from VWAP. I wanted more shares in front of 4. I got some at 406, but it's really, really starting to slow down a little bit. Tesla, however, I mean, the market dips a little bit. Tesla doesn't do anything. Like, this is just holding. So I don't know if I'm going to even get this 228 dip buy. I thought when the market started to reverse, I'd be able to catch it. This could just end up being a clean 230 break. The high of the day is 229.85. So 230 could just be it. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll try not to have my brain splattered on the back of the car like Marvin's did, going long at the high of the day when the market can't seem to break out. But Tesla is stronger than everything else. There's no, not everything else, but Tesla's stronger than most everything I'm watching here today. So if I have to take a breakout instead of buy the dip, at least it's in the right spot, I think, with Tesla up here.
Man, why did we have to shoot Marvin in the face there?
It was your fault.
I know. Well, you went over that bump.
Well,
I mean, it was a bump. I didn't mean to shoot Marvin.
Bumps happen
in the face. But
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. All right, now we're loaded back into Meta
Lamar.
against that 60. So let's just see what happens here. Meta against the 60. Mr. Brendan, what's up?
Big mover past couple of days, guys. ATNM back at it once again today, going back to, I think it was Wednesday last week. This thing kicked it off, got through $9 and has not looked back. So 13.5 just coming into play there on volume at day highs for ATNM.
All right. I'm just still AT what was it? ATNM. You have it up, okay?
Oh, because it's on the Amex, that's why.
It's an Amex stock. Okay, so we'll have a look at that. Yeah, it's nice to see volume coming into some of these names, but I'm still distracted with the position that I have on right now, Meta. So here we go. We're short at 43. Let's see if it can come back in to the downside. We do have targets into the 60s, so a little bit of a low pull down. Most of these positions I'm in are winners at some point. It seems like. But that's the life of a scalper, right? You got to sort of take the good with the bad and hope that at least some of your reads are going to be right and then cash out on those. And then I try to hold, 20 to 50% is what I'm trying to work on as a backside hold right now. So there's the short at 50. We're going to get out just a breakthrough of 60. So yeah, hopefully we can hold out a little bit more for this one as Meta's starting to come in a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm watching some of the treasuries here. The Good Luck Trader Gorno, they're saying 10 years spiking hard, should affect tech, but it's not. And we've seen this happen before, right? Where you have yields making a bit of a move and you'd expect there to be follow through. You're just not really seeing it. Maybe it's a delay thing. Maybe it's because not too much is going to happen until Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure. But there is one level that I'm going to respect for resistance until it breaks. I try to break out on NVIDIA when we're in the just shortly after lunch at 1 o'clock. I try to break out at 136. It failed, bounced off that 35 VWAP, and now you're just channeling the range here with a 136 half as your top. That's Friday's support, and then VWAP at 135 even. So if that's a scalp trade, then I want something for the inside of the range. So I'm going to short this off that high. And I'm going to try long off 135. I'd rather be sitting in Intel, and I'll give this one to 60. I'll take multiple swings at this one short, because when Intel falls in the afternoons, it tends to make it to the bottom. So if I can be in something risking 5 to 10 cents on Intel when the bottom's at 28, 40, or 50 lower, then if the market rolls over, I feel pretty good that that's usually worked out for me. But if we get to this top on NVIDIA, then I want the shorts in front of 136.5. Buying the dips would be at 35 even. And still, we're now 30 cents away from the breakout on Tesla through 230. Let's see if we can get something breaking the high.
Yeah, that 230 on Tesla actually looks pretty good right there for a break higher. We are net short right now, of course. We've already mentioned that here with Google and with Meta. But there's Tesla, very, very close, man. It's already been up here. It's already tested. So, yeah, I mean, this would make sense. It's a name where I don't have to guess. Is it strong? Is it weak? It's strong today. Tesla, obviously, hasn't really had too much pullback. It did pull back to 228 there off of 229.50. That's $1.50. Like, that's not a big move there for Tesla. So I would say that, yeah, if you're looking for something long, that's a decent break. But where's my 20-minute? I just wanted to show you because we've already been up here. So it's already broken a couple times here before. And then there's that top at 230.60. So, it could be something there for a break on the high side, and then you can give it at least a 230.60. If you had one target to get out, you might say, oh, maybe I'll get out for 50 cents or whatever it is there, because that was the high. So just respect that. If you really want to play the true breakout, then you do got to wait for like 231. But I just feel like on a day like today, you might want to grab that, because if you're right, then you might not come back to 230. So that's the one thing to pay attention to. But again, anyways, I'm short Meta, and I can see what's happening in the market. And we tried to go long there on Apple as well, and that didn't work. But the market's doing absolutely nothing. It went all the way to the bottom there, not even to the bottom, went all the way to the top of 11,500 again, and now it's fading back through it. So I'm not convinced one way or the other here. Look at stupid Meta. The market's going back down, and this stock has 3 straight. Look, 3 candles down, 3 candles up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to pick my poison, and I think I've just got the wrong one every time. So, yeah, about that, Meta. Get to the downside, please.
That's the thing. You don't want to force it. Sometimes you just got to chill, wait for your levels to come in, and see what Brendan has to say.
Yes.
Just going through an earnings list from this morning, there were, in fact, a few kind of secondary names that reported today. NWL was one of those. Newell Brands, back to the upside here. You can see a bit of a volume spike here, back to 14, guys, but down huge on the day for NWL.
That's only 2 days from now.
Say what again, Aaron Lamos? I see you in the chat. I dare you. I double dare you. Say what again? What?
Shit.
Jeez.
Say that again. Aaron, I have no idea what he said.
I knew some.
Okay, let's just. Oh no, my battery.
Everybody knows the lines. And by the way, happy Halloween. If you hadn't noticed, we are dressed up for Halloween. Yes, bonds keep moving. I'm telling you, this is at some point I got to see some follow through up here because, I have my TLT up and I'll just quickly pull it in here for you guys. This is what I use. I track the 20 just because we can the 20-year Treasury. I mean, it's going to be the same old, right? We are just falling like a rock and. My sort of thesis of, okay, well, if this is happening and we're not going down, because, TLT goes down, that means yields are going up. If we're not going down in the market, then there should be some longs when this starts to bounce. And, of course, that's not really happening. You're rolling over. I wanted something back to the short side. So I grabbed Intel because just go back to something that was working for me. I never got Pinduo Duo, but at some point, yeah, the market should follow it. And if it does, well, guess what? Hopefully Tilray doesn't care, and hopefully GameStop doesn't care. But yeah, this market should be, I think, attempting to head back in the downside because we're tanking on treasuries.
There it is. Yes, sir. So there's a nice move to the downside. Yeah, we'll have to watch some T-bills, some Treasury, the 10-year a little bit more there to get the right direction right there. But you know what? The Royale with cheese right now. If you have anything, if you've ever been to Paris, that's why they call quarter pounders Royale with cheese. So you could definitely catch that on the flip side as well. Pretty funny stuff there. Thank you again. I'm really happy that we can smoke on Halloween. I mean, it's
how do they eat their French fries?
They dip them in something? What do they dip them in?
That mayonnaise, man.
French mayonnaise. You got to enjoy those mayonnaise. You know what they do here in Canada, though? We have poutine up in Canada. You ever had some poutine over there, Jules?
Poutine? I don't have no poutine. Look, that's what some funky Canadians do. No, actually, for those of you that are in America, a lot of our viewers are American. Poutine is it is gravy.
You don't want to see the briefcase, my friend.
It is gravy and cheese on fries, and let's just say it's like a Canadian delicacy over here. But yeah, you know, we're not going to show you what's in the briefcase. You don't get to know that. But that 228 on Tesla, just got it. That just came in, so be patient. It doesn't break 230, but wait, it's like the only levels I like are 230 and 228. So I wait for 228 to come in, and because look, I just watched TLT continue, it's still going down. So I should take the initial bounce on this for something, and let's see if I can actually get a little something out for that initial bounce, because that is still heading into the downside. And all I have is Intel short. Like, I need to have something else to the south side, because if we end up breaking down, I need more than just this. Oh, 107 is about to come on Airbnb, so I might get the low of the day break pretty soon on Airbnb. That's a double bottom at 107. I just noticed that start to come in, but I got that 28 on Tesla. I'm gonna trim some of it right here for a very quick scalp trade, because the way that we're coming down on TLT, just a little bit violent. Now I can try holding for the top end of the range, a little more reasonable. Sometimes it's not about the level, it's also about the way that you get the fill and how the market's treating you when it happens to the downside. So that's why I wanted to initial trim. I haven't gotten on the bid yet of Intel, but I find sometimes it's just go back to what has already worked for you instead of getting complicated. In the short, since I finally rolled into it at about 10 o'clock, was once again pretty easily on Intel. So that's what I'm going to work back into for the short side. Trying to get PDD as well, Pinduo Duo, and 107 break, 15 cents away on Airbnb.
All right. Yeah, finally right there, we'll hit the siren alert because, yeah, buddy, patience is paying off. Right now as Meta is making that new low, not new low, but is starting to go lower here on that dramatic move down. I mean, it's not even really dramatic. I kind of say that tongue in cheek, but yeah, finally it was a decent move down. I mean, it was a decent one because it actually followed up. So it actually went down there, and instead of just retracing back to the 50, it actually followed up to take out the range low. I'm not going to say the day low because that's all the way down there, but the range low. So now that we're busted below right now, cancel my Meta. I don't need to have any more bids out there. Let's see how low can we go. We did cover Google there when it went to 50, and to be quite honest with you, we try to be as honest as we can. That's a fail on my part. I had a remaining order there just sitting there to cover because I was playing the ranges, so I would have liked to have held that, but we're holding Meta anyways. But just that was sort of not a false cover. We covered it and it's all good. We made money, obviously. We're short 94.78 and we covered at 55 or 54 there. So good cover. It's where I wanted it right into that, but now you're pushing lower. I'd like to still have a piece on. So if you're still shorting Google, I think that's the wise thing to do as it wants to fail. I feel like anyway, it's down 2%, market 1.27, so that's all good. And there goes my earring, of course, because it is not officially in right now, but this is a real cigarette.
Is it though? Well, I'll tell you this much.
No.
Someone was dead right. This is coming off pretty soon, this mustache. I'm telling you, it's trying to last as long as it can. But that Tesla, probably a good decision to just take out a small scalp trade in there. The way that it came in was a little bit violent. It doesn't even hold any support whatsoever. It just breaks immediately that 228. So ends up being close to a flat trade because we did get a little bit of a bounce into 228.50. I did just grab a little something in Apple. Apple's down 1.6%, but that's not to say that it's been all doom and gloom. It held at 152 pretty nicely. It's got a 153 afternoon support level that it's trying to bounce off of as well. And I see the ES just trying to hold range. As long as it does so, let's see if Apple can hold up. GameStop starting to come back into that 28. It's about halfway there. It's at 28 and a quarter. If it bounces off 28, that's the only place I would add. And of course, Intel, which I just jumped back into, just from 228.50 all the way down to 40. Like, this is the thing. Like, once it starts going, I feel like we could be, if the market continues to trend to the downside here, break that range, head back to the low. Intel's a stock that I know can get all the way down to its low. So I'll respect it. Get my bids out there, kind of like I was doing earlier off these. It was a 28.85 earlier, but 28.50 here. Place them to the quarters, into the tens. 28 even is the low of the day. Nvidia's falling. I see you there, Golfman, 608. That's another
608.
one breaking down. Oh my! See, this is the thing. I was on the offer to short the top end of the range. I just made that decision a little bit too late on Nvidia, and then now you can't even get that top. Brendo?
There's this one from this morning, and speaking of coming back to the downside, SONN was up more than 100% at one point, just broke that support from the midday on decent volume. There was a note on J&J and Janssen specifically with a tie-up today with SONN.
That's what it was. I knew there was something there that I was missing.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's that
I want 280.
breathalyzer. No, that's sober is the breathalyzer there. Okay, so I'm kind of just distracted right now. First of all, I still got to go get that, you know what, Nia Wallace. That's going to be a problem. Picking her up. She's into heroin, so we will have to watch out for her. And then we do have Meta here starting to go back to the downside as well. Yeah, coming
I thought you were going to say a code word.
No. We're gonna keep it real. All right. Okay, I guess now I was waiting for 85. The lowest we got there was 91 right there. So we touched 90. Yeah, 91. So we're going to bid 91, honestly, just see if we can get that fill. There we go. Come on, give it to us a little bit more. And then we'll wait for a little bit lower than that. I don't know. We've been short Meta. All these are shorts, right? So short, out, wait for it to pop up. Early take there, but that was still good because went all the way down there. That was about 30 cents or 25 cents. Then we reloaded it right there against the 200 period. And now we're starting to make that move back down again here for Meta. So as long as we're below, I think we're fine. But, oh man, like now this is our new out is 93.50. So we won't lose on this, but then I'll also give back all the profit we've made, right? So that's the one thing that you got to be careful with when you are sitting here trading, like Neil and I are, of course, is the fact that, yeah, you could get blown away here. All of a sudden, what did look good does not very long. And you got to switch up your game plan. So with that being said, I'm going to put, there you go. I'll just got out at 01. I'm going to cancel now my 91s because we just took it out there. Nothing wrong with me missing out on 7 or 8 cents. You know, if it's going to start to retrace back up, I'll still hold a piece of it. But again, you know, don't want to give everything back here. So 93.50 is our new out coming through, hopefully for Meta. Not hopefully, but that's going to be our new out there for Meta. I feel like we can average in a little bit to this one. Try like in here, mid-30s, 93.30. But then that's going to be our out, 93.50. So we'll see about a bump up and then hopefully a fade the rest of the day. Because we just entered right now power hour. So it's 3 o'clock and this market hopefully is going to get spicy a little bit right now. I think we're both. Oh, you only have longs. I was going to say, but your net.
Just
your
Intel.
longs are okay though.
But it's
Tilray, GameStop doesn't really matter.
Tilray's literally not
Apple.
moving.
I mean, if the market
Apple's
falls,
the problem.
Yeah.
But Tilray is literally not moving. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I thought for sure. Okay, well, you know, the days that I don't trade the cannabis names when they're going, I feel like that's when they're really they're fantastic, and then you get that FOMO. Like, yeah, the next time they go, I'm going to take something in the afternoon. Here's Rivian. I just wanted to show it's trying to get above the 50 period on the higher time frame, so it's pretty strong. It looks like unless something crazy happens, you're going to get that close above the 50. I was trying to short off of those highs. I had it on Friday off these same levels, and obviously it broke out from 35. And if there's a mistake, it's like, okay, well that's your key level you're shorting in front of. Well then turn it into dip buys. Flip the script. Flip it. You don't have to flip it right away, but when it comes back in and test 35, buy that dip. Take that shot. So I didn't do it. If it falls again, maybe we get a shot at it. I'm not even sure. It's not just too strong at this point. If you peel back a little bit, look at 36 for a potential break, right? This is a pretty solid channel that you've got working here on Rivian. And as I say that, I mean, if I like Tesla breaking 230, and then it just dipped to 28. The long just stopped me out, and Rivian doesn't pull back into VWAP. The market's tanking here. Rivian's holding the high. Market bounces. Rivian looks solid on a break through 36. That's pretty strong, man. Up 3.5%. Trying to break a channel on the 15-minute. Trying to close above the 50 as well on the daily chart. I love this one here. So that 36, the market has to hold up first, and then Apple, there it goes, VWAP for good. It's now broken down. Where is my Airbnb? I thought for sure. I mean, if the market came down, I was pretty convinced Airbnb was making this breakdown here. It just hasn't happened quite yet. It's getting pretty darn close to it, though. So it's a bottom break. I'd be shorting at the low of the day, but it's a pretty significant level here on Airbnb. And when it does go, hopefully I'll be able to catch it. It's not short sell restricted or anything, so there shouldn't be any trouble catching that. And the bottoms here, lower highs at 105 and then 103.5. If the market really tanks, that's where I think we get to, at least at 105.
All right. Oh, man. Whew. This is stressful, man. This is like more stressful than those hits, man. Oh, wow. This is crazy. But Meta just goes down to 77 right there. What?
I was about to say, I'm like, just as long as you think that's stressful, just don't get caught with your pants down.
Been there, done that.
If you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's... There's so many classic lines in that movie.
There's so much.
I can't believe we actually had our sort of our production meeting there during the midday show, and you were mentioning that there was people in the chat that really had no idea what Pulp Fiction was earlier on, and I'm actually surprised by that. All you had to do was like look at us, and you should notice something. I mean, I know I look like a used car salesman. Thank you for that one as well, or a blues brother.
You know what the best part of this?
I like all of that.
I could just take off this. All I have to do is like change my
outfit, over here quickly,
and
Neil.
I can be the same thing. Chappelle did like 3 times. I could be Leonard Washington.
Look at this.
What just happened?
Look at Meta. 50,000 shares on the offer for Meta. 50,000 shares. Whenever Neil says, "What the ass is that?"
It's
I feel like that's like there's a possible area of concern there. So I don't know what the ass this is, Neil, but there is some size there for that. So we'll go short a little bit more into that because wow, that's one. I was gonna say FATASS, but I don't know if we're allowed to say that. But it's right there. If you like that kind of stuff, Meta right there, 50,000. Don't get it twisted. I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't think that.
Wait a minute. What book is that?
Arca. Sorry, Edge X book. EXB.
That's why I don't have
right now. So yeah. So what the ass? That was hilarious.
It's because my roommate for university. He wouldn't.
What the ass?
He wouldn't curse, so he would say that. I mean, it's kind of a
still
curse
is
word, but
cursing.
that's what he would say all the time.
I'm a little bit confused about that one. But yeah, what the ass is that? With a big offer there. I'm just like, okay, there's an offer there. Neil just goes over and basically has a heart attack. So that was pretty cool. But we re-shorted it right now, so we'll hit the siren alert to that one. And we will tap that said ass to the downside right now. And hopefully that will start to come in right here as we have fun on a Friday here. Let's just see what happens as it comes down. Yeah, I know it's a Monday. I'm just playing around with everybody. But there's one out on Meta. That's before that what the ass, but right now we do have it. You said, oh, I know what he said. No. Maybe it was what the ask. Because it's on the ass.
I mean, yeah, but
that's why you tap that ass.
That's not what he said. And to the people that say he must be Trini, yeah, actually that is something a Trinidadian would say. And I know a bunch of Trinidadians that say that, but he's not. He's Jamaican and he would say it anyway. So.
Oh shit! Someone's sending the wolf.
Oh, and by the way, thank you to the downside. So first we got 40s, then we got 30s. This is what Intel does. Like you take it at a 50 or at an even, and then you just let it fall down to you. That being said, I really do feel like Intel in the longer term has made a decent bottom here. Like I said, I stank bid that 25 when it came down there, but I was deep out of the money on this anyways in the long term. I think it's worth the shot play. I like the dividend as well, but down at these levels, it is making a convincing bottom. But this move has now gotten up to some levels that I think it's trying to reject. That 50 period, that 29.5, now 28.5 as we work it to that downside. GameStop still holding 28, but not doing a heck of a lot. Tilray, I don't know. It's now 315, and Tilray absolutely refuses to do much of anything. So it's still, look at it still going sideways. Like I got caught trying to get the break, and it's like, no, that's not what you play. Play the consolidation. At least that way you give yourself some more space. But even sitting in this, it needs to start going here. Test that 420. I love the idea of the 420 break. But guess what? It has to actually happen here for us to get excited. And Apple, like I said, stopped out. Tesla, on the other hand, I think it was a good out waiting for 228. I thought we dipped down to VWAP off that, but it's holding below 228. So decent chance if the market bounces back here, it could reestablish and still Tesla's high. So it might not be over just yet for Tesla. But I'm kind of hoping Tilray makes that move because I love, forget about the long here, it's that 420 break I sat down really thinking about.
All right. That broke, by the way, on...
The size?
The size broke on Meta there. So 93.50. I'm just getting my order set up there to go. So it did break, but we took 10 cents on the first reload. We weren't going short based on that ask anyways. It was just there. I just wanted to show it to you to give you guys a little bit of fun times here on the show, showing you some different size and whatnot coming through. So it did break. It broke it in like one shot. It wasn't even, like, that's not 50,000 shares. Like, well, I mean, it's $100, so $5 million order.
Yeah.
That's not, like, it's done 100 million shares today. So there's going to be like hedge funds and whatnot that just are going to eat that thing up. There's going to be algos that are going to come in that don't really care about levels like that trade with much more buying power than $5 million, especially like traders like us that have that much and don't use it all. But there are programs here that have to be flat at the end of every day and whatnot. So it's not like they're making that play based on a hold or anything. To me, though, I think whoever was short there, if it hits a certain level, they might liquidate those shares. So there are 50,000 shares out there that were posted at 93 that possibly, if it comes up to VWAP, which is all the way up here, 94.50. So it's not going to hit that, but they may execute out if we get up to there, but you're not going to be able to tell. The market's just going to move and do whatever it wants to do anyways. So 50,000 shares, you see prints like that on here. Now you only see hundreds, but you'll see that right there. There's a 3,000 and a 1,000 all done in the dark. There's another, I think that was 10,000 right there done. There's a 5,000 done in the dark. Like, look at all these thousands and thousands of shares coming off. It's not... 50,000 is just a sneeze, right? So we'll wait for that, but we are going to try to go short again, of course, against 93.40 right there. So if that breaks, we're going to get out, but trying to get some more short into Meta and some new ideas as well. So if there's any shares that you guys want, we're going to figure that out. Meta, I really like Meta. I know there's some people talking. I'm an owner of Meta shares and have been this whole freaking way, which has been disgusting. But I still like the name. The cash flow, their balance sheet, everything. It's just like, the fact is that they have billions of dollars. It's just they're lighting it on fire, which sucks. So Meta continues to be a problem. Hey, look, they have 4 billion daily active users, something like that. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. So we're going to see if Meta can eventually turn it around. I do have hopes for that. We are bidding obviously if I'm a shareholder, we're bidding 91s now to get out of this. I'm a shareholder, but I'm short on here. So that's another sort of tip for any beginning traders is you sort of have to be able to divide out like your bias for the stock versus what you see here on a technical level or an opinion that you have over.
That's a big one.
Yeah, over the next hour.
You know the guy that I'm not going to say any name, but there was a trader that used to trade on our old floor.
Yeah.
And he could not separate his book. So if a stock that he really believed in the long term was going down on a day, he's like, no, the stock should be up. And then he'd just take longs on it on the way down as a day trader on the prop, and it's like that doesn't make any sense, right? Like you got to play the momentum.
Yeah, he's like, I did the due diligence. I know this company's going up.
Yeah,
but
and it's like
it has nothing to do with the
and
daily.
he's yelling that as he's getting shut down, by the way. And it's like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like I've been short Intel probably 8 out of every 10 days for the last few months, as I own the stock long term. As a day trader, you just got to play momentum. I actually kind of like Airbnb and where they could be headed. Stated a fantastic one when I was in Dallas, by the way. I love Airbnb. I think it's fantastic, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, it just broke 107, key level. I just got slipped to 93 on the short through that low. It's down 7%. They report this week. But yeah, it's momentum into that downside, so I am short here. Finally found something that wasn't Intel to the short side. And all you do is complain about Tilray. I'm only glad that it broke up here from that 406, 405, 406, 407 back into the teens, because that silly entry that I had at 13s, at least I can get those out and then only be working with the lower level as it heads into 420. So hopefully we can make that breakout. See, that's the thing. Like, you can't have this buy. You can't have it. Like, you've got to be buying the consolidation dips on a stock when it's up here. Forget about the break and trying to get cute thinking, oh, I can grab some before it breaks 420. Because then you're anticipating the move instead of participating in it. And I love that saying that I think it was Ian or Prad, Luca, one of those three came up with that one. I like it, though. Participate in the move. Don't anticipate it. Allow it to happen. You can join that momentum when it goes. But we are still tanking. Like, TLT is still at the lows, testing lower. And so I feel like the market is likely to roll over. That's why I've been trying to find places in big cap to go to the short side. If I'm long something, let it be. Hopefully, GME can hold that 28. Tilray shouldn't care. Well, I'm hoping it doesn't care here. It should be trading on its own. But everything else, I'm just really looking for those short opportunities. I feel like Amazon might have missed that one. And then NVIDIA, definitely missed NVIDIA at 136. I don't know if we get a shot at it again, but if the market makes a fresh low, I can maybe short it off the 135 area. That's to be certain. But as the market tries to bounce here, I want to be patient. The level I liked was 136 originally. I'll let it try to come back.
You know what, Jules? My patience is running thin right now. So we're going to have to wait to see, though. I was looking about maybe shorting Microsoft, but we did short more Meta here. It's right up to these levels again. So we're about to get out. You break this 200 period. We're just not going to mess with it. It's come right in for us right now into that. I'm almost liking that for a break long, but we won't do that with the market down here right now. We're not going to break any longs. We're just going to try to see if we can't get this stock to, I mean, we're not, I say get it to do something, but I'm not. There's nothing I can do to get anything to do anything. I'm just going to put some bids lower here. See if the market does fade a little bit. We'll see if we get something out here at 10s or whatever. We're short. I mean, now that I see this go down like that, where are we short at? We're short at 25. All right, maybe we get a 15 bid, and then we'll get like an 05 bid. Maybe we'll put something down there to see if we can get that. Just trying to, oh man, don't go back up, man. I'm just hoping that we can take a little bit of profit on this before we start to break up higher. The market is just doing a dance here again in the afternoon.
Graphic ready, Lucas.
We had, what happened to Lucas?
420.
Oh, 420
Not
for,
yet.
for Tilray.
Get it ready, baby. Tilray's
Get
coming.
it ready. It's coming there. Good trading on Tilray today for sure. But there it is. There's one out there on Meta at exactly where we said at 15. It's 10 cents. It's nothing. But we're kind of scalping right now, as you can see. We'll wait to see what happens with Meta. Hopefully some more downside pressure here coming through. Happy Halloween to everybody.
Oh,
I hope everyone hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button. Actually, this is, I'm just kind of curious. I'm just going to ask you now because I thought of it right here. Sorry, guys. What's Gia going as today?
Oh, she has a really cute costume. Like a Harlequin, like a bad clown, basically.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. She looks really great. Yeah, she's hilarious. Thanks.
Yeah, look, it's when you're a dad, it's one of the fun things you get to do. You have your kids.
I
And
saw
when they're
your
young
daughter
enough,
is what Elsa I saw.
So she did Elsa for school,
Right.
But she's got this, and she has got this unicorn costume that she's in love with. She wears it on the weekend sometimes too. So she wants to go as a unicorn, but then she specifically said she wanted it to be a skeleton unicorn. So my wife, being amazing, was up last night while I was watching the Bills. I'm a bad dad. As I was watching the Bills game, she was like making like an attachment so she can put a skeleton on on her unicorn thing.
Nice.
She's really into unicorns at this age, so we're not going to say no.
Well,
Plus,
they are real. So.
It's also warm, and that's the other thing. It's going to be. Hopefully,
Is
it's
it
not going to be
warm? I don't know.
Well, it's going to rain a little bit potentially, which
It's
I'm
about
kinda
the rain. I'm not about.
not happy about that at all. So I don't know if I'll be donning this because I think once I take this off, it's off for good. And I really don't feel like wearing this on the train. It's pretty itchy. If I have one beef to the people that made this costume, like wearing like this here is super itchy. This is really itchy. I mean, come on, figure it out.
I mean, that's what happens, man. We buying these little costumes here that are made of like, not real hair. So yeah, I could definitely. I'm the same way. Oh, this will be coming off. I actually have my Trader TV Live hat here. I was going to switch and put this on during the midday show and stuff, but I was like, if I take this off and try to put it back on, I just don't know if that's going to be good.
Oh, this stays on for the
I brought
whole
some
show.
combs and everything like that.
We don't mess around. And if it's your first time tuning in, like I remember
Drop my comb.
I remember when Sean wore like the hot dog costume, and I'm not lying to you. When he sat down in the morning, and this is before we went on air, I turned him and I go, you're going to be as hot as balls.
That was hot.
And you're not going to lie. There's no chance you can do the show in that. You'll be way too hot. Which
Like hot as like basketballs and stuff you meant, right? Like hot as. balls?
Yeah, hot. You know what I meant.
Yeah, football,
okay, yeah.
stuff like that.
You guys know what I mean. But that's the level of commitment that we try to keep here.
We're trying.
We try. We do our best, but it is what it is. And I see, why is Disney so strong? You know what? I have not even looked at Disney today. So good look, calling us out for not looking at Disney. Come on, Tilray got back up to 419. Got me the next out, and then pulled back a little bit. So that 420 break not happening, just showing you the bit of a pullback there. But look at Disney. Green on the day, at the high of the day. There's a strong one for you. Dip buys in Disney have been working all day. Brando?
There's actually a cautious note on that this morning, talking about Shanghai Disneyland again and COVID. But yeah, nice day for Disney. Note on Netflix, guys, just coming out here. They're picking up this game developer Spry Fox, according to a blog. That just out for this one, Netflix.
Netflix. I thought you said Meta there for
Team
a second.
PJCT, you are dead on about this. Sean looks like the evil parent, and it's not the parent, it's the villain from Kindergarten Cop. Remember that movie?
No.
Dude, he had
I don't remember the movie,
He had
but I
the
don't.
exact same ponytail. I guess maybe it was popular in the 80s or something, because Pulp Fiction, I guess that's when it was based.
You guys
but
got me.
that's-
You got me.
You guys are like, what the hell is Kindergarten Cop?
thought I looked like Arnold.
Yeah. Like if you're a contemporary now, like all the stuff that you see The Rock doing, these comedies, just picture the fact that Arnold was doing the same thing back in the day, and Kindergarten Cop was one of those. I mean, at the time it seemed really funny. Nowadays, some things don't age all that well, but he did that. He did Twins, which, I mean, I thought it was funny. I saw it in the theater because that's what my parents used to do. They'd take us to the theater to watch movies that they wanted to see because they're West Indian parents. That's how they roll. I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, silly comedies. Airbnb's finally coming to the downside, but this is the slowest grind down because the market's bouncing. So the market's catching a bit of a bounce, but that's okay. It's still through the low. It just got to 106.67 and missed my bid by about 5 cents, but I'm going to leave it in there for now. It's a 107 breakdown. It is trending to the downside, so even with this market bounce, it's holding lower. That tells me if the market reclaims the lows, I've got something which will work in addition to Intel. But we only have 15 minutes until, 25 minutes until the imbalances. I thought it was, for some reason, I looked at 325 and read 335. So we got time. We got time to work to the downside. Fortunately, I was able to find something that I liked to that short. And Tilray, I'm giving you a chance, Tilray. I'm leaving that bid in there to break out at 420. But in about 10, 15 minutes, I'll probably give it up. Hold on to the shares I have long in front of it, but not add on a break of the high of the day. It's just a time thing. We got to be flat at the end of the day. So adding at the top break, that's something you only do if there's enough time for it to work. Right now, it's worked to the high of the day. Now I just want to see the break before we get to the close.
All right, let's go over to Netflix quickly here, just to see what's up with Netflix. So Netflix down 1.35%, off the high of 293 and change. So yeah, a little bit of a pressure point there. If we get back up to 293, we've been taking out some Meta as it doesn't want to break back down below 93.05. We're short, of course, at 93 quarters, so that's not bad trading rate there. I was talking with the wife after, and we're still exhausted. We are again. Our weekends are washed, man, with curling and hockey and gymnastics.
Hey, we're supposed to go
swimming. It's ridiculous.
That's our office outing. We should do curling. I
know we should do curling.
I would love to see Fahad try to curl.
I would not like to see that. Well, I would like to see it actually. I would like to see that. Shout out to Fahad as well. But I think Lucas might be able to beat Fahad at curling. There, but you know what? Whatever. Curling's just a fun social game.
The rock's a little heavy there, Lucas. I'm just.
Do you know how heavy a curling rock is?
I have no idea.
Guess.
Let's see. 10 kilos? Is that too heavy? 8 kilograms.
8 kilograms. So that would be about 20 pounds. Right? Because it's 2.2.
2.2. It's like 18.
Yeah, it's 44 pounds.
44. Lucas, you can't do that.
A rock.
44 pounds.
It is. Yeah,
it's like a kettlebell, man. I do a workout with that thing.
Yeah, no, it's to lift
44 pounds.
Yes, look it up, man. Yes, it is.
No, I mean I believe you.
No, I know it's heavy.
That's heavy.
So that's why the kids have something called little rocks.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like little half rocks kind of thing for the kids.
44 pounds.
Even though my kids are just 10 and 8, they still throw the heavy rocks, but they're heavy to pick up. So you don't want to drop one of those curling rocks on your feet.
Does that ever happen?
Yeah, that happens. But no one actually lifts it up. It's
Break
not like
your
it's
damn
not
self.
proper etiquette It's not like you would never really like pick up a rock and slam it down.
Tell that
That'd
to Fahad,
that'd be
man.
hilarious.
You saw when he threw that
Well,
bowling
then you
ball
can't
like
do that
35 feet in the
then
air.
we can't have Fahad at my curling rink because if there's any damage there, that's expensive.
You know when you see someone that actually hit the roof or whatever, like that's what I was afraid Fahad was going to do at one point. But
Yeah.
he picked it up after a while. He figured it out.
If 5 million sell on Meta, what will that mean tomorrow? Will Meta be crashing? No. So, yeah, 8 kilograms, 18 pounds. Yeah, exactly. It's 2.2. So I said roughly 20 pounds. My bad. I know you're not doing that for any reason, but okay. So, all right, let's go. I think that's why it's 20 kilos is what I think it is. So 1K likes, 4.7K watching. Hit the like button, guys, especially if you like what we're doing here on the show. So that's what this is here. Today we're having a great time for Halloween. Let us know what your kids are going out as today, or yourself, man. Send us some pictures of you and yours getting ready. Those are the best parties, man. Halloween parties. Everyone's all dressed up. It's also a good time, I think, if you're like a single dude. There's always nice stuff happening at Halloween parties back when I was a younger individual, of course.
I remember the best. I can literally remember, and I remember the girl from our high school that used to throw the best one. I'm trying to remember her name though, but I can picture it. Halloween parties were the absolute best.
I would love that. Thank you, Chef Henry, man. We have
had
the Royale with cheese already on the show right there. I'd love to show it to you, but mine's gone and yours.
Come on, son.
Is gone.
You guys see me when there's food on the show. Like there's the proof. That was gone a lot faster than it should have been.
Yeah.
A lot faster than it should have been.
Is that a pickle in there?
That was a tasty. That was a tasty burger.
A leftover pickle.
Okay, you don't leave a pickle. You don't leave a pickle.
Love pickles.
Oh, come on, GameStop.
Right.
Is this finally starting to go?
I
So
don't know.
GameStop's trying to get off the bid again. So yeah, it bounced off 28. It was able to add in front of 28s there, and it's trying to get going again, back up to 28.50. I just kind of felt like if it held the low, there'd be one last salvo in it, but we're now at 3.30. So it's about the move that's happening, not the move that you want to happen. What that tells me is I do need to get some out here back where we started. That way I'll just be working with the 28s. Take a little pressure off of this move in case we don't get up to 30. I feel like the squeeze or whatever squeeze there was might be a bit donezo there on GameStop. So if I can get anything close to 29, we'll just have to go ahead and take that. Intel, sort of the same story, but in the other direction. Intel is right here back at that 28.35. So it's working about 15 pennies in the money. But I was going to wait till 25 to take some out. Going to take some out in 30 because we're getting closer to said end of the day as the market's running. Looks like it might not be today for Airbnb, as it just bounced pretty significantly back through that 107. So I'll have to give it up at 107.5. This is a trade where it broke 107 today, and if it breaks this bottom again tomorrow, I'm making the exact same trade. Because when it does go, I think it's a pretty significant level. They do report it just failed the 50 period. I think it's trending back into the downside, testing back to this 100 before earnings. Makes some sense to me, at least from a trend standpoint. So if it doesn't go today, certainly worth going back to the well tomorrow on Airbnb.
You got a super chat for you there, Jules, at one point. Just quickly here.
The one with bad mother. You know what's on it.
Exactly.
You know what's on it.
You know what's listed on there. The one with a word.
The one with bad mother, you know what.
Bad mother, that's his.
You know I'm
right
dying to
there.
drop some of the lines from the movie, but I can't do it.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to go on like one of those rampages after the show. Just like go start yelling at Greg and everything, and just start
Greg.
releasing all your angst.
I'm disappointed that nobody else really could sort of joined into it. We should make it like
There's
a floor
0
thing.
people wearing costumes.
There should be it should be a floor thing.
Brendan, me, and you.
Last year, some of the production crew did last year.
Luca's was the best. His was like a retired old Italian guy. It was like the best. That was the best because that eventually one day that will be true. So that's the thing here. I mean, I'm already a hitman. That is true, but I don't look like this. So we're trying to be a little more undercover with it. But
it wouldn't make sense to be this conspicuous if you're a hitman.
No, not nowadays.
It actually doesn't make
If
sense.
me and Neil walked around the streets like this, that would be hilarious. But okay, so there it is, man. We will just dump it out there. We'll just go like
Dump
this.
it.
Oops. Oh, I keep thinking it's the dab up thing there because we didn't have many shares left at all, and so we were able to take advantage of this one on Meta as it just took a swing and a miss there on that downside. But look, we were just getting there's so many outs down here that you guys saw me doing it. We talked about it as well, and then there's the out breaking back above 40 and now trying to get some momentum back to the upside. We need to find something that's a long in this market right now. Thank you so much. How do we not have 2,000 likes?
I don't know either.
I mean, people don't. We can't even get it.
I don't know either.
For Neil to have a wrap, we can't even even get it. We can't get it now.
You know how much effort we put in these costumes? Personal pain going on.
It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort, and I guess we're not really being appreciated on it. So, more to come, Neil. More to come.
You know what?
Hopefully they can hit the like
What
button.
I gotta do next year, like grow my hair so it's actually my hair when I do this.
People say you also might look like Will Smith from Men in Black.
Will Smith from Men in Black.
He's light skinned.
I don't know about that. Leonard
Does he have that mustache?
Leonard Washington from Chappelle's Show, 100%. When he does Samuel L. Jackson beer,
Wow.
that's what it's the same thing. He uses the exact same makeup for it. That works as well. But
Do
I've
you want
always
to short something?
I actually look. Do I want to short something? I want to short a lot of things if they get to the highs, but it's 335, and it's a time-based thing, right? Like I look back at. Don't get me wrong, like. I absolutely missed the boat. I'm still on the offer, hoping I can get back the shot at that 136 on NVIDIA. At the time I got Intel, I had an opportunity to also short NVIDIA here,
that's what we
and I'll
watched.
be kicking myself. I should have had that as well. What did we watch?
No, I just had someone say Wednesday Addams. I mean, that's exactly what we watched. I don't know if I look like Wednesday or what, but that's exactly what we watched. Was the Addams Family, the cartoon one. That's what we watched on Friday night.
I love the Addams Family.
Yeah, and actually the cartoon was pretty good. I mean, just for our kids, it was pretty funny. They didn't know Addams Family, so they were like, da-na-na-na. Oh, I don't want to get demonetized. I better stop.
No, but you can do it a cappella.
Oh, you can.
You can do whatever you want a cappella. That's what are they gonna do?
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rihanna dropped a new track as well. It was kind of slow and kind of.
Oh, that's cold, Bob W. I can't say that out loud.
On that one, don't say it. All right. Yeah, we'll just keep on looking. What Neil's Justin Trudeau? Why can't you say that out loud? I mean, you look nothing like him. You look like Justin Trudeau. Oh, when he did blackface. What? Is that what he looks? Is that what we're talking about? It.
What are you talking about?
He was not. He was not trying to be black. He was trying to. I think the thing that he said he was trying to do was be like Aladdin or something.
I try to stay out of politics, but inside,
No, that's.
You got to know.
We're not giving a comment on our opinion of politics.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, Aladdin. See, there you go. That's what it was.
Clayton Bigsby, yes, Clayton Bigsby. Any character from Chappelle's Show is in my book of like a long list of what to do next
year. You
year.
can't be Clayton Bigsby because then you got to wear the get-up, and then that will look like that there's a problem.
That's the whole thing. Like I don't care about pushing because I think it's funny and I love Chappelle. I think comedy has to push limits. That's just my thing. Whatever. I understand people have their own opinions and that's fair enough. But the whole point of comedy is to push limits. I love Richard Pryor. I think he was the best. I think Chappelle's an absolute genius. And my dad, who's old school, he's not huge into cursing and all that. He watched the very first Chappelle show, the Clayton Bigsby one. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And he died laughing. And I thought he was going to be like offended by it and pissed off, but he loved it. We already have an idea for next year that I'm pretty sure we're going to pull off. Let's just say, if you like this year.
It's not super controversial, though.
No, it's not controversial. However,
we'll think of something.
However, this market is slowly climbing upside here. I mean slowly because it's like grinding slowly. Like I said, I got one leg out of GameStop. I'm going to take another out as my... Look, I don't think we're getting 30, so it's a little bit ridiculous at 336 to have those orders out there for the shot play. You take what you can get as far as what the market gives you. And I said Tilray was going to run out of steam, or did run out of steam at 420. There it is, pulling back. I'm not adding to it up here. I think if it pops into the high, I'll probably try to get a little bit more out there because if it's like these small scalp trades that are going to be in there, that's all you got to take there. And yeah, like I would love to tell you that the market's making bigger moves here, but it's just holding inside of the range. So I feel like every single day we're doing this. I'll tell you one day that there's no chance we're going to have this kind of an inside afternoon, and that's going to be on Wednesday. When we get that rate hike, there's going to be a real move where you're not just scalping inside of a range, which is what a day trader has to do in this kind of a market, but you're going to be able to get some actual breakouts like we've seen before.
All right, cool. All right, so what did we just get out of? Meta. Okay, so we've already talked about that one. Breaking to the high side right there. What's so funny now? I can't get enough of all this stuff,
I'm
man.
still laughing at you.
As we continue. Oh, the Justin Trudeau thing?
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. There is Dave Chappelle here January 1st?
Is he really?
I don't know. I know Kevin Hart was here this past weekend. Or coming up. I think Kevin Hart was here this past weekend. I will go see Dave Chappelle. So I'm going to have to look into some tickets for that.
Hold on a second.
I know the wife and I are going to a Raptors game against Orlando in mid-December. But if Dave Chappelle is here, I will try to go and see him.
Yeah, he is. He's at Scotia.
Scotia, okay.
Well, I don't usually say Scotia. I still call it the ACC. I really don't care.
Scotiabank Center, yeah, that's fine. Where the Leafs and Raptors play. That's cool, man. We'll go to see him. I wanted to see that Hassan Minaj guy was here as well, but I didn't see that. I wonder how that went out. I'm trying to think about. It's like I've already seen Damon Wayans. I saw him in Vegas. That was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think about some of the last stand-ups that I've seen, but they're always a lot of fun, man. You go there, you have a couple drinks, go with some friends.
I saw somebody stand up who you'll never see again because he's a criminal. When I was a kid, I actually saw.
I'm trying to think about.
I saw Bill Cosby live as a kid.
Oh, Bill Cosby. I think I might have seen something with him too. Actually,
he was here at the. I don't even know. I was maybe too young.
By the way, isn't he out?
I have no
Didn't he
idea.
get pardoned or whatever? Not pardoned, but something came up with him. I know we shouldn't talk about that.
We shouldn't, but I love seeing Sam. Thank you to whoever said that because I'm going to go look up Chappelle Show on the first. Now, I don't know. I should double check to make sure I don't have plans for New Year's that kind of.
Oh yeah, it's New Year's Day.
It's New Year's Day.
Is that when it is?
Yeah, it is New Year's Day. So it's like.
No, it's not. What's up, Peter? I just want to say, like, I'm not. It's not that I'm not. I'm sticking to my plan and not trading. It's not
patience.
It's just like Meta broke higher, so I am looking for it. I mean, we could go short Meta right now, but the problem is like the market is still. It's just. And you're right. I mean, I guess I am, Peter. I mean, maybe it's a positive thing. I'm sticking with my plan, and I think that's the one thing that Neil and I try to do here, Brendan, all of us, the midday show as well. Like, just teach that you don't have to be actively in the market 24/7. I mean, if there's trades going to be here, I'll definitely show up for you. I mean, you guys have seen that. I have over 300 fills today, so. I mean, the fact to say that we're not aggressively trading this market, we are doing that. It's just honestly, I'm trying to wait for some great opportunities. I think that there's been some missed opportunities for sure for me in the marijuana space today. These cannabis names, CGC, Tilray, so on and so forth, have definitely gone up in smoke and have been. Oh, here we go. I have this one too. Oh,
These two have that one. I gotta get it back.
There it is. Okay, so there's been some trading there for us today on CGC. Well,
I feel like saying I'm just yelling at the top of my lungs, I'm Tyrone and smoking is bad for you, and then knock that out of your hand. And I'll show it to you after, but like this dude is.
Oh, that's the guy that you said's on the street.
He's on the street.
He goes around. I was gonna say because that's not Tyrone Biggums, so I wasn't sure.
I'm Tyrone. Smoking is bad for you, just bam.
Bangs it out. Just goes up to random people.
And smacks it out of their hand too.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I was wondering, like, is that fake? Because that guy's gonna get himself beat down. I don't care how big you are.
If there's any names you guys want. For us to look at, obviously we'll be here to look at them, so you guys can put those in the chat if you guys want to. I was just going to call up, and again, just maybe AMD trying to hit up. It's near 60, back obviously above it now at 60 and a quarter.
TLT's bouncing big.
TLT's bouncing upside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so that makes sense as the market goes upside as well a little bit. 60.32 right there, maybe for AMD off of VWAP and whatnot. So I'm just trying to find names that are below VWAP, which is the blue line here, coming into play. So that's something that you could look at for a short. But again, like to go short at 60.20 and then get stopped out at 60.35, yeah, it's like even if you take 1,000 shares or something, it's still $150. It's like, do you really want to throw that away just for shits and giggles? I'm not.
You shouldn't.
I'm not convinced. Like if it was up here more and it's relatively weak, then I'd think about it. But
it's like you don't want to like being flat. Or having no position is a position. I know we probably don't say that enough. The midday guys will talk about it all the time. But as a trader, you're not forced to be in a trade. Like if you don't see something that sets up, then you really shouldn't have it. Because a lot of times, it's those trades that end up your worst. Where you're like, but it's like a C+ setup on a D+ day, but I don't have any better ideas. So let me just go ahead and do that. That's a good way to get yourself into trouble, and then it spirals from there. Because what ends up happening, if you want to if you take an A+ setup and it loses, you're probably not going to be on tilt. But if you take a C+ setup and you know it is, and you lose on that, that's how you get yourself tilted, and then all of a sudden the smack starts coming down to you. So I'm telling you, right now, look, man. You want to stay away from taking bad setups. It is an easy way to get into a downward spiral and we've all been there. Like everyone has done it and then regretted it. As I say all of that, I'm going to start managing and adjusting some of these orders here. because I want to, like, if we get back to the downside, I'm not sure we can break support. The market's looking pretty strong. I should just be getting out right here on any kind of curl on Intel. But the only thing worth holding on to is GameStop on the off chance it can move. Tilray's doing absolutely nothing for me here. And maybe it's just a tomorrow thing. Maybe it has to break this 420 tomorrow, and I'm just waiting around for 420 to happen. So maybe it'll happen tomorrow. I'm just going to get out if this takes out 410 and then see if we can get one last pop into that high of the day. Imbalances in about 5 minutes. I'm not expecting any fireworks. I think it's been a relatively inside afternoon, and the story has been find yourself inside the range, because all my missed opportunities, there was my chance to short inside the range on NVIDIA. I didn't have it. I only traded Intel. I was only looking for the top break on Tesla, so I didn't short that when it was at the top of the range. When you find yourself with an inside day, be willing to just long in front of good support, short in front of good resistance, and go with that. Try to stay away from breakouts and breakdowns. Like, what's the short that didn't work for me this afternoon? Every short I put on, the other two did. And look at Airbnb. Like, it was looking for that breakout late in the day. I wasn't even taking 30 pennies on it. I could have scalped it for 30 cents, but I was looking for that big move. Doesn't happen because that's not the market that we're in this afternoon.
Okay, so in honor of me being ridiculous again, we are now short Google. So Neil I just saw someone tweet out there, Kramer this morning, Google is one that you should not sell. All morning, pretty much, just been going to the downside right now, and back down to $94 here for Google. So then that made me think about it. And look, at this time, I agree with Jim Cramer, obviously. I feel like you would never want to sell Google at these levels unless you're raising capital for another idea, which would be a completely different story, or you're just so nervous about the market that you're going into cash. This would be one of the last names that I would sell, but again, I don't blame anybody for not trying to be long right now, that's for sure. So yeah, if you're selling your equities out, you did get a nice little bump because Google was at 90, 91, 90, 50 is its low, so up to 95. Yeah, maybe Mr. Kramer is going to be right on that one. I don't know. I still love that inverse Kramer ETF. That's the best. So we are short 71 right now, getting out if we break 80. Let's see what happens with this imbalance. Brendan came with it 711 to sell as of a couple minutes ago. What's up, Brendo?
There was a note on this one. Shout out to Fahad. Veru, guys, popped up earlier on this afternoon. 1280 was the high there. We're starting to get going a little bit here as well. There was a positive cancer-related note for Veru today.
Oh, that's good. Hit the alarm for that.
I was hoping this would be at the high because that 13 break, it was really setting up for a 13 break on Veru. But support at $12 looks pretty good anyway. So if we see this tomorrow, if we're still holding that 12 level, scalp trades off there have been good for the entire, not the entire week last week, but pretty much every single day last week outside of Monday and Tuesday, because you would have had to scalp off 11 even. But that 12 looks pretty solid. I'm now out of Intel. Give it up. Tilray back to flat. If it breaks 110, which it's about to, I'm out of that. And then GameStop is also pulling back in here. So look, you're not going to see much fireworks out of GameStop. It's held 28. And I said this morning, if it holds 28, it's got a chance to go tomorrow, but it hasn't really given you much. It started when it bounced. Fortunately enough, was able to buy the dip, and 28 held. We'll see if it has the second move in it. With only 3 minutes to go to the imbalances, let's see if one of these can ride. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. I hope everybody enjoys their Halloween as well, but make ours a little bit more fun. Hit the like button. I want 2,000 on Halloween Day, or we should stop dressing up, man. I'm telling you. And any guesses? We didn't even talk about Brendan's costume up there. But can anybody name who Brendan is if you've got a chance to look at it? You've seen him a few times on the show. I'm curious if anybody can guess it at the end of the day.
Yeah, no cheating, because there's going to be a lot of people that are watching now that have obviously saw from the morning.
Oh,
I think people will pretty spoil that.
It's the honor system
There
here.
you go. It's already in there. Okay,
No, but I wanted to see if somebody could say his name. And Warren Buffett did get it. R.J. Scaringe. Is it Scaringe? Or
I don't know, but all you got to do is Google. Yeah, everybody knows.
Jeff Probst.
That's actually a good one. Brendan kind of does look like Jeff Probst.
You know what?
A little bit, actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
Jeff Probst is more skinny, like more like
off,
straighter face, maybe. Yeah,
He's not 60 years old.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah, he is. He's easily 60 years old. Let's Google that up right now.
Right on.
Oh, right on. Okay, I said easily 60. Okay. That's what I meant.
Good for you, Jeff.
No, but there's 31 seasons or something. That's why. That's why I knew that. Like, do you know how many seasons of Amazing Race there are? I don't know. You're Googling it now.
That dude
Maybe
is
there's a way
60
you could
years
check
old.
that out. I believe they're like on season 29 or something right now. 28 or 29. I used to, you know.
Now I feel
the only
old,
Survivor I watched was like that very first one where there was like a.
I remember
the guy Richard. I think
that's
a
the one I
bigger
watched
guy.
too.
Yeah.
That's the one I watched.
Yeah, that guy was a boss, man. That guy dominated. And I think he came back as like guest and this and that. That was a good one there. But looks like a helpful Honda guy. Yeah, that too. I think that's the whole point of his outfit. Okay, right now to help everybody, silence. We say because here it comes right down. Google. We just covered at 60 there. So so far so good. We are out of half or no. About 40% or so of our Google. And again, we're just trying to scalp it. So thank you for whoever motivated me a little bit there to say, I guess Sean's sticking with his word and not getting in. But I just waited for a setup. And I mean, this is the kind of setup we're talking about for Google, right? Came right in, we have these highs, and it was right there. I already know I want to go short.
He went to,
What?
oh, that guy went to jail.
Jeff Probst?
No, the Richard dude.
Oh, he did? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't condone his behavior. I just know that on. You know, it's like American Idol, right? Like I was watching it when there was again like
Ruben
a bigger
and
black
Clay.
guy. Yeah, Ruben Studdard, Clay, that girl that's just made an absolute killing.
On Thursday Night Football. Girl.
Oh, her too. But I was talking about the one that has her own talk show.
Talk show from American Idol. Kelly Clarkson has a talk show? Good for her,
What?
man.
She's like has the #1 daytime talk show, honestly.
It goes to show how
You
much
think
TV
I'm not
watch.
joking.
For real? Good for her.
Yeah. No, but there's a cooking, no, it's not #1,
Damn.
but it is popular though, right, Brendo? Kelly Clarkson's show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay, I don't know. I shouldn't have said #1. I don't know. Oh, the
Imbalances.
imbalances are out right now.
Shit.
Shit. We missed all that. Sorry about that.
What is Coors?
Daydreaming right now. Go over to Neil's screen. I don't have it up right this second.
ACGL, 8 million to sell. Coors, CORZ, said 8 million to sell. I'm looking for big caps. Intel, 1.8 million to buy. XOM, 1.5 million to sell. It is the end of the month, remember, right? So this is month end. That's another thing out there. Cisco is a big sell, 1.4.
Oh, it's month end.
Alphabet, 1.3 million to sell. I'm looking for, I don't see Apple. Microsoft, 1.1 million to sell. So I'm seeing mostly sell side. 3 billion is what we got. Apple as well, 1 million to
Bs?
sell. So we are sell side big time. Coors, that's a yeah, it's a crypto company. That was on our, I feel like it was on the watch list, or at least we were looking at that one last week. But yeah, big imbalances
That makes
across
sense
the board.
for Coors. It's 21 cents.
Yeah, it's a penny stock, right? So, but this ACGL, that's a $57 stock. So there's probably something going on with maybe like an index adjustment on ACGL here. For it to be $9 million for $57 stock, not really moving though. So I'm not really actually seeing movement on this, despite the big imbalance that I see on that ACGL. Oops, there you go. ACGL, they're still holding right around 57. I don't know if that wick is real, but big volume spike. Whether it dropped $1 or that's just a dark pool wick, I'm not really sure. But big imbalance on this one.
All right, please, guys, and I hate to beg, but like 1.7K likes. I thought we'd have a lot of likes
I ain't
today,
too
man.
proud to beg, yo.
I ain't too proud to beg. That's for damn sure.
If I need it in the morning or the middle of the night, I ain't too proud. I ain't too proud. If loving
Not enough likes for any kind of
So you want
of R&B, hip hop, any kind of verse.
I'm not even making this up. When
At all.
When I was in junior high,
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
I dated a girl in junior high who, her and her two friends,
Yeah.
literally, I'm talking the hairdo, everything, they were TLC. And she was like T-Boss, like to the T, like the hair, everything about it was copying that style.
They were popular.
That basically tells you they were huge, man. Like you talk about like Destiny's Child and all these girl groups and Taylor Swift and
And they
whatnot.
didn't even make any money 'cause
when
they
I
got
was a kid,
jacked
and then
up.
yeah, they were at an award show, and at the I forget which one it was, and they're like, yo, we're broke.
Yeah.
Straight up, they were the biggest girl group in the world, and they told everybody that they were broke because they didn't make anything, but they were unbelievable, man.
Apparently, same thing with like Lauryn Hill and all that. A lot of these people had some bad contracts, but
Yo,
hey,
Lauryn Hill got a bad. Yeah.
they're all changing
So
that now.
talented.
Hopefully,
So talented.
Yeah. I saw Lauryn Hill live as well, so that was another one live that I have.
Where's
seen.
Blackstreet, Jose? He says Blackstreet's going to be at the Phoenix next month. I love Blackstreet.
Blackstreet?
I've
Those guys
seen
still alive?
I've seen Blackstreet live already. I saw Blackstreet, Guy, and it was
on, guys, come on, guys.
SWV. That was years ago, but I like my New Jack Swing.
Really,
What can I say?
SWV was years ago. Neil, man, I don't think anybody even knows who those people are. Like, we're honestly...
It doesn't matter.
You're right, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows who The Rock is. That's for sure. All right, so yeah, paying off right now dividends right here. And I don't know, Google does pay a small dividend, but we're getting a nice one right now too. Today off of that short. So again, thanks for the motivation on trading a little bit more.
Oh my goodness.
There's it right there. It's only 7 minutes left to go. Thank you for watching so much. 1.9K. We love all you guys out there. We're just playing around. Hit the like if you want. Don't hit it if you don't want to either. But thank you so much for all the support. Look, we're going to be back every single day, Halloween or not. But the most exciting part about everything is 2 days from now is Fed.
Yes.
So we're going to be on at 1:45 on Wednesday for Fed. So that should be really exciting. I don't think it's much of a surprise. Maybe we can double check that with Brendo. He's always busy, but I think it's still 75 basis points. Looks like that's going to be what we're going with there on the Fed rates tool. And then we have a big earnings report the rest of the week. So we're kind of like, oh, by the way, it's 1-1, isn't it? Or is it 2-1 now for Houston? It was good. That was a great game. 6-5 Phillies in extras, and then I believe Houston won.
Well, let me just rub my palm here for a second.
Yesterday. Uh-oh, here we go.
What did you see what the pitcher was doing for Houston?
No.
Let's just say he was going to a certain spot in his hand.
Oh no! Which
and then
one?
rubbing the ball.
Dominican guy?
Well, it was Framber Valdez.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
Valdez,
they checked these guys multiple times during the game.
Google.
So obviously, I'm sure he wasn't doing anything.
I feel like the umpire's going over there and just like asking to see under the guy's belt.
It looked suspect.
Find his ears and everything.
And
I feel
it's
like
Houston.
I just feel like they're not doing a great job, like checking those guys. I don't know.
I don't know.
Not my monkey.
Look, I get it. They checked him a million times. I'm just saying. I mean, the guy was going.
Yeah, Neil, what are you saying exactly?
I'm just saying it looked kind of funny.
So you're saying that Houston Astros are cheating again?
I've already declared myself for Philly. I'm a Jays fan, but I've declared myself for Philadelphia. This ACGL that came out a big sell imbalance is absolutely rocketing to the. I don't know what's going on here, but this one was the one. Let me just quickly. Is this still here?
We just cashed
out. It was a big sell. Now it's gone. So it must have paired off that ACGL, and now so it ran about 70 or 80 cents there. Initially, it was a spike to the downside because it was a huge sell imbalance, but then paired off at 355 and rocket ship to the upside as we have some earnings to get to, Brendo.
Worth a note, guys, Lucid doing this right now as well. I'm not sure if there's an imbalance on this, but Lucid with a big move to the downside. End of the day. Yeah, here we go. We're past all the big ones for this earnings season, obviously, but a ton of tradable and notable names to come this week.
Okay, so first of all, Lucid does have a huge imbalance. I think it just flipped over because I didn't see it the first time. So I feel like it just showed up. We'll do that in a second there, Brendo. So you are right. Good call on that one. Avis, so we've seen CAR, symbol CAR. That's gone ham in the past on shortable issues. And then, Uber. I think I'm in love tomorrow with SoFi, Uber, even Pfizer could go tomorrow as well. We'll hear what they have to say. Shout out to everybody at Molson Coors. Send us some samples if you want. Sirius Satellite Radio as well. Could be something there in the bottom right, but they just keep giving that stuff away for free when you buy a car, so I don't know.
It is true. It's true. And I finally started watching that Cobra Kai, and I feel like they have like a Coors sponsor, because the dude, it's like one brand of beer that he always has.
Oh, really? Yeah, I watch a little bit of that with my kids, but they're not really into it. Cobra Kai. They love Karate Kid.
You only like, if you've seen the original Karate Kid, I think you like it a little bit more, to be sure. But yeah, some big moves happening at the close. One of them on said Lucid to that downside with the sell imbalance. But what about, I'm seeing a lot of things starting to pull back. Like, I was hoping Airbnb would take out that 107 and go. It's back below that, so that could be one to watch. We get their earnings. I think I want to say before the market on Wednesday, so probably either tomorrow afternoon, before on Wednesday. And then Uber, that Uber is going to be a big one. If you look at where that stock got to again today, I had the short at that same low that we had the long 26.50. I shorted that. It could not stay beneath 26.85. We're right back beneath this bottom. Like, this floodgates could open up if it's just another. No company has lost as much like raw dollars. I'm talking actual physical dollars since IPO in the last 20 years in Uber. And if somebody has, then you've got to show me the company that's burned through more money than Uber. I get it. And obviously, the economy is bigger now than when the other people's have IPO. But in terms of raw dollars, it's been pretty unimpressive. So 26.50, big level, could be taking this one out to the downside. And that has been a huge, huge floor for Uber. We're going to have to watch that. Lucid, of course, I'm not sure why it would be falling.
There was
Or
that
had the sell
imbalance.
imbalance? I know, but why
Well,
would there be a big sell
I-
imbalance randomly here? Like, it's not an
No, I
index.
think you're right. I mean, we sort of got caught off guard there because it was month end.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'd
listen,
buy that. Well, no, I mean, for anything. I mean, if someone
Yeah.
wanted to cover a position that they had maybe at the beginning of the month.
That's a big move.
And now they're just selling it right there. But yeah, good trade for me right now, 40 cents in the money on Google as we end the day. I mean, look, we started the day here, a couple good trades on Google this afternoon. So we shorted it. We got out there by accident for sure. We talked about that when we got out. It did dip down to 94 and change, giving us about 70 cents. And then there's the reload right there. And again, like, and I want to shout out whoever that was, asked me, and I apologize. We shut out so many people. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Again, it's been a very, very entertaining day. Thanks to Justin for getting the Royale with cheese.
Royale
I almost said
with-
it the wrong way again.
with cheese.
With cheese. So thanks to Justin for that one. That was a lot of fun there going through. Although, however, I haven't had McDonald's in a very long time, and I'm feeling like I'm going to start to feel some ways, if you know what I'm saying, about that. But here comes Google down to
That
the
is the thing
downside
with McDonald's.
right now. Oh, people asking about where's Tony? Remember I told you guys this? He's in
on
Massachusetts, so he's
vacation.
in Boston right now. He did some schooling there in Boston, he was telling me. So he just went back there, visit some friends and whatnot. So I hope you got there safely, Tony. And also I hope you're not watching, because if you are, then you're probably not having so much fun. You don't want to be
They speak English in what?
in Massachusetts?
No, you just said what. Don't say what.
Don't
around
say
me.
what?
They speak English in what? What ain't no
What was
country
that?
I ever heard
What?
of.
What? Don't say what again.
Say what again? I double dare you to say what again.
I don't have anything.
can't.
Okay. All right. So here we go.
Hey, there he
Google.
is.
Oh, we're almost out of Google. I thought we were supposed to get out there if it breaks above 50. So there it is. Yes, sir. End of the day right now. Whoops.
Uh-oh, because I hit the countdown at the same time.
That's okay. Well, the countdown hit it again somehow.
There we go.
All right. With only 5 seconds,
It's
although
actually
it says
4.
9, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. Wow, I didn't realize the time there.
That happened pretty quick.
That happened. I was just hitting it to announce I was out of Google. I even hit the wrong one. I meant to hit this animation to
There we
celebrate
go.
that we are now out. But I hope everyone enjoyed the show. We did get to 2K likes, so
Well,
thank you so
well,
much for that
well.
one. So, you know, good day overall. Market was very, very fun. We didn't cover the market too much other than the NASDAQ or the S&P, but let's go over to Brendan now and figure out what happened with the broader market.
Yeah, we did kind of drift to the downside, guys, as the day comes to an end. Here's a look at how we wrap things up on Halloween edition here. 0.78 for the S&P 500, 0.25% for the Dow. It was the NASDAQ all day long that led us to the downside. Continues that way. 1.25% almost there. Look at crude. Yeah, 2%. We were positive on the day at one point for crude oil. 2% downside we end.
Yeah, so it is one of those days. I'm surprised Brazil is up of all things, because they were looking pretty volatile after the elections that went on there. But I made you guys a promise that I didn't care when it happened. Is if you guys finally got us to 2,000 likes in the afternoon show, which we hit the morning goal every single time, we do a little something. And I told you last week I wanted something for my brother. So this is for him. You're not going to have any clue who this is. And if anybody can even sniff or guess, I don't even think, Sean, you're going to be able to pick this one up. And I'm going to have to try to do 2 parts here, because that's how they roll. Hey, yo, Funky, wake up. Turn the radio up. It's us. It's us? Yeah, listen to the cut. It's our style. Our style? Your style. What? Hey, yo, player, wake up. Let me tell you something. Listen to the way they flip the metaphors and phrases. Listen. It's driving me crazy. Because every time I do a style and flip it kind of simple, brothers say that's fact and do it on a demo. From the demo to the corner, now I've been on the radio. Next thing you know, they'll be doing our video. Same one. Concepts, whole 9, crazy similarities through the whole rhyme. I'm not worried, though. I'm flipping hits in the grill. And in the underground, only real stays real, so check the skills. The skills are kind of ill. Hey, yo, here come the Lords, because we're here to make them kill.
Sick. Great one. Limp Biscuit, someone said.
It ain't no Limp Biscuit.
That's hilarious. Good one there. No, I actually don't know what that is, so I'm not going to lie about that one.
You know what?
So-
If I said, boom shakalaka, yo, there comes the chief Raka, then you might know.
Is it not Lodi or?
It's the Lords of the
Yeah,
Underground.
Lords of the Underground. There you go. Lode, yeah. So there it is. Right
I'm
there.
old, people. I like that old school hip hop.
You like that? Yeah, well, we are very old, as you can see right now. Good job for Neil on that one. Hit the siren, so there it is. A man of his word, getting to 2,000. So we're really glad that had happened today. So thank you so much for everybody once again for coming through. I want to give a big shout out to Neil for that. That was pretty hot. And then also Prad, big time costume today for Prad, big time for Luca as well. Thank you so much to those two guys for supporting the Halloween aspect. Thanks to Brendan as well. Lucas is a man on a mission by himself there the last couple of days. So
You're the man,
shout
Lucas.
out to Lucas for helping us out here on the ones and twos every single day. So there he is right there. Shout out for that. And yeah, man, we had a lot of fun today. So
Yes, sir.
Brendan, you're not going out trick-or-treating.
No.
Going out to dinner, or what do you do in the condo? Just put candy downstairs? How does that work?
I'm going to go to the gym tonight, I think, but
No, but I mean, like, do kids, like...
no,
know there's not-
I lock my door.
Oh, you lock your door. You're one of those guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I see you, Brendan. All right. Yeah, no, but I don't think in a condo. I think when I used to live there, we gave it to the bellhop. Like,
Yeah.
They go downstairs.
Yeah.
Yo,
It's
condos
only
are-
like if they're on the floor, then sure, but there's only one or two. So
Yeah,
It's
you
the
don't want
best
kids
place to
up and
it's the
down
best place to go because you go to the
just scoop
condo
it.
building and they just have it laid out on the table and just take as much as you want. I used to run that flex when I was a kid all the time. But I'll be on them streets tonight. For sure.
Oh, I'll be on them streets as well tonight. We're actually, the wife and I are just actually hoping that the kids made plans with friends at school so that we find out that, oh, we don't need to, but we're trying to give them some independence. 10 and 8 years old, they're just going to sort of go around our neighborhood, and then when they come back, either they're going to be too tired and we say, come in, or I'm going to probably have to go out a little bit with them. But it gets dark now around 6:30 or
Yeah,
maybe
it
even
gets dark
earlier
too
than
early.
that. So I think we'll be in for a good night. And the wife makes some funky, oh, I want to show everybody this. My daughter, not that, that's really funny, first of all, but this is what we had for dessert last night.
Oh, it's Rice Krispie. I see it. I see.
It's a Rice Krispie. This is kind of before they kind of hardened, so it still looks a little bit gooey and everything, but I just want to take a picture real quick there.
That's
So
tasty.
you got the bloodshot eyes. This is supposed to be some sort of a mouth. The hair's all chocolate, but that's what we were having. So everybody enjoy your Halloween. It should be a lot of fun. We're back tomorrow, rise and shine, at 8:30 for all of us. And then after tomorrow, we wait for Wednesday when we get the Fed. So that should be real juicy. So for Jules, RJ, and myself, Vincent, we will see you tomorrow. Ciao.